All right, it started. So, I was about to say author fun fact. I'm not writing anything right now. Creator fun fact. I had a plan to make the first video of the year be like, oh yeah, talking about how to do celebrations and stories. I'm like, oh, it's good. I'm too negative on this channel, right? I gotta lighten up more. I gotta be positive. I gotta be happy and stuff. So that was the idea was I was gonna do a video on like celebrations. Like, hey, nothing's happier than that. We just did New Year's, so I mean, like, it feels like a fitting time. And instead, I'm gonna be negative in the beginning of 2020. What is this, six? Yeah, 2026.
It's a good way to start the year.
I had to look at the bottom right of my screen to see the date and remember that it was 2026. I was so ready to say 2025 because I
Today is the first and only day it will ever be 111.
this is the second. You can't say stuff like that. People will fully believe that I just waited like a week before posting because that's what I've been doing for like the
That's
longest.
really funny.
Because I what was the I told you when I had put up the monsters video, I was like I had it for 5 days just sitting on my computer and I was like I should upload that every single day and then just didn't and
You should
finally did.
never upload.
No, I did upload it, which is really good. I still don't like that video, but whatever. I'm grabbing a Kit Kat, of which I have a pound left. Um, Probably a little bit more than a pound. So instead of being happy and joyous because we lived to
Because that's
2025,
lame.
2026, fuck me, Dad. I'm gonna be evil and
What a way to go.
hate something I barely know. Okay, I wouldn't say barely actually, considering I watched more than half of it. Way more of my time than I should have
Really?
given it.
How
If I
how far did you get?
season, I dropped season 4 before Hopper killed the Demogorgon in
Okay.
the Gulag. Because I was like, that's genuinely
Okay.
fucking stupid. Okay, we'll get into it in a bit after I finish this. Last piece of Kit Kat. But if I follow this correctly, and if you can fucking hear me right now from eating, we're gonna talk about Stranger Things.
Hopping on the bandwagon, and we're gonna hate on Stranger Things for like an hour.
I was about to say, is that even the bandwagon? And then I remembered it is. If it was season 4, it would not be the bandwagon.
Somehow,
Because people liked season 4. I
people
remember.
people the highest rated episode of the show is from season 4, which amazes me because it's the
Because
episode that I was like, damn, this show sucks.
Stranger Things season 4 was not good. What episode was it?
It was the one where we see what it's the massacre at Hawkins' lab or something. It's the one where we see Vecna's backstory
Oh, the
and we see him get banished
Oh, I
to
did
Dimension X slash the Abyss
see
slash whatever.
that, and I remember being like, "This is genuinely fucking stupid." Because okay, I will be a little positive. I.e., I'm gonna talk about the only good seasons, in my opinion, season 1 and 2, before I get into the rest of the show that I didn't like. Season 2 is contentious. Not to sound like those shitty podcasts. What was your opinion on season 2? I don't remember
Season
what you
two
said.
was season two was disliked in its time.
Was
A
it?
lot of people have gone back on that and said it's good. I think I think season one is the best by
Well,
far.
that's just
Then
like
there's a small gap
like
between it and season two. Season two is a little better than season three, and then there's a huge gap between
there is
season
a
three and four, and then a
significant gap
huge
between
gap
them.
between four and five.
I say that
I
the
think
gap is the
season three is
characterization.
overhated. I think season three is decent.
Okay,
Um,
season 3 is overhated, but it's not good. I
I
wouldn't
think
even
the
call it
Russian
decent.
stuff is kind of outlandish.
It
It's
was
not
outlandish,
great.
but
It's
that's
definitely a
but
down
I
step.
liked it
I
a
feel
lot
like it's
more
a
than I
good
liked
blend.
the other fuckers
Yeah,
like
I
plots.
it's a good blend between the original vision and them going for the more blockbuster thing and the ending.
Oh my god, I
Like
hated the ending so
was
much. Genuinely
I think
hated
the
that
ending
ending.
I think the ending in concept is pretty good. Like
They didn't do it
they
well though.
sealed it away. They didn't, but like they sealed the evil away. It's dead. It came back in like one final push to fight them in its physical form, and they got rid of it. And now Eleven's powerless, which means she can live a normal life. And like
I
people are leaving
fully commit.
Hawkins,
I
which I liked, but
I fully commit that season 3 would have been the perfect ending for the show. It wasn't great, but for the show it would have been a perfect ending, right?
I
And
feel
then they made 4.
like other than season one, it would have been the best point
Oh, well,
to
like
end
hands down.
at.
Because I know I like keep talking whenever. Okay, pulling back the curtain. We've talked a few times, even before season 5, about how much we don't like the progression of the show. I even said this when it was popular. Not to brag or anything, but I've always been a fucking asshole. Um, and I forgot where I was going with this. What was your last point? No, I remember. Yeah. Um, if I remember correctly, the original plan for Stranger Things as a whole was either
Anthology.
it was either an anthology or just a one-off. I
I think it was
fucking
going to be an anthology.
just the
And
name.
then it got
Yeah.
popular, and I think then they did have plans for a second season, which is why the second season's still pretty good.
hmm
And then after that, it kind of just they
Cause,
just going
cause
with
I
the flow.
straight up like when I heard that, I actually genuinely got upset for the rest of the day because you don't see anthologies being made anymore, which is not to be like, oh, the thing I watch is anthologies. If it's not a five-part interconnected thematic brilliant masterpiece, I won't watch it. But like, come on, when's the last time you've seen an anthology get big, right? And they don't. And it would have
I
been
just hate that
cool.
everything's like long and drawn out and
Oh,
MCUified,
undeniably.
but
Oh my God, that is the
whatever.
worst of the. But I remember season one being like fun. I didn't give a shit about the 80s. I never got the love of the 80s 'cause I remember my family being like, "Yeah, the 80s were like okay, like they kind of sucked."
I just don't have nostalgia for the 80s. I like the synth kind of vibe,
I don't like synth
but I
music.
don't I don't really
I don't
care.
have nostalgia
I
for
don't
the
like
80s.
I like the synth like like synth
Vaporwave,
wave music yeah, like vaporwave like the backgrounds. I just like the colors from the
what is it?
backgrounds. And so
VHS
like
vaporwave aesthetics that were popular
yeah,
in
I like those.
2012.
Yeah. I think those are kind of neat, and I think
They look cool.
like in season 2 when they go to the arcade, I think like that's kind of a cool aesthetic, but like
Oh,
I wasn't
I
really
wish
like
they did
that
more with
fond
that
of the
place
80s.
because that was a good set.
Yeah, it was
Even if
pretty
the
cool.
cabinets were anachronistic, but when has Stranger Things ever actually gave a fuck about being set in the 80s?
Oh my
I
God,
was
because half the stuff just doesn't.
always so fucking mad that first of all they did D&D wrong from the start. Mike's a shitty DM. When it's Will's turn, he just has the fucking Demogorgon start walking around. Well, fuck you, dude. He's deciding. What's your fucking problem? Second of all, he should have
He doesn't
casted
get better in
shield.
season 5.
It should not have been an issue, a question at all. Demogorgons have high magic resist because AD&D is a different game than we play. I had to look into this later on because I was reading a bunch of Dragon magazine and also Dungeon magazine, real magazines you can find on Internet Archive for free. Demogorgons have fucking like magic resist out the ass. Fireball would have done fuck all. He should have cast shield. This should not even have been a question if they were as much D&D nerds as they claim to have been. Then season two completely mischaracterized what a mind flayer is because they're fighting the elder brain more than they're fighting a mind flayer. Pissed me off.
Yeah, I did
Same
dislike
thing
that
for
because
season three.
the mind flayers like they eat people's brains, right?
They do it for their psionics, right? They feed off of mental
Yeah.
energy and memories and shit. Mind flayer
They make
in
I
Stranger Things
guess
doesn't
it's
do
because
that.
they make thralls is the idea, but they're not like the head of like
But did the mind
a
flayer even
hive
do that,
mind.
or did Will just get basically regular infection? That was
No,
basically a
in
zombie.
season in season 3 they did. In season
Yeah,
3,
but in season two, when
um
he first revealed, they didn't do that.
yeah,
And then
I
season
guess it's just
three,
I don't know.
they played it wrong
In season
again.
3 it does have a lot of thralls because it like controls a bunch of people, brings them to a warehouse and makes them explode into meat, which is
Mind flayers don't
whatever.
even
But
do that.
yeah,
That's a vampire thing. That's vampires. That's Strahd. And then season four,
yeah,
Vecna. First of all, Vecna at that point in time, AD&D, was a passing name on the description of two items: the Book of Isle Darkness, which is said to be Vecna's, and Vecna's own left fucking hand and eye. Why the fuck is Eddie the I don't know what is his middle name? The Munson making an entire campaign off of a guy mentioned twice ever? Stupid as shit, pissed me off because it wasn't
I still think
at
the
some point.
only reason they call
At
him Vecna is because he has that one big hand.
did he even have a big hand at the time? I saw he
No,
had
he
both
did.
eyes
He
and I was
because
mad.
his left. I think his left hand is bigger because I think he uses that to do his evil thing.
Okay,
But like,
but like his victims don't
I
lose
think
an
that's
eye or
genuinely
hand.
the only
That's
reason.
stupid. He has no
No,
Book of Vile
their eyes
Darkness.
burst and
Yeah,
their
but with
limbs
Vecna you
break,
only
and
lose
that's it.
one. That's his whole bit.
Yep, but he pops both.
He's not the
Whatever.
keeper of secrets. He's fucking none of that, right? And that made me. Also, at some
Yeah.
point, they name drop Vecna Lives, the name of the module that brought him in like the 2000s. And then season five, they call him a sorcerer. Everyone's railed on that because that
Ugh,
was easy to tell. But like, dude,
yeah.
it's always been a shit description in D&D. Never liked that aspect.
I'm less peeved by the Mind Flayer because I think like the Demogorgon it works. So it works because it's
Because
like
it's fine.
recognizable thing that's different enough. But Vecna I did not
Vecna's like a
like.
whole guy with actual lore behind it. With the Demogorgon, with the
Yeah.
Mind Flayer, you can say, oh,
With the Demogorgon,
right.
it's like, okay, it's the gatekeeper of hell. So like, oh, this thing that's from another dimension, sure. The Mind Flayer, it's a creature that can take over people's minds or like uses people's minds
Yeah,
to
the
create
name
like
makes sense. Yeah.
puppets or zombies. Sure, sure, that makes sense, right?
Vecna's a
But Vecna,
guy.
he has a big hand, and I guess he's a sorcerer, which is the idea.
He's not.
He can use
Is
magic,
he
but
even? I
like
thought he was a lich. He's a wit. No, he
he's
was
a
a
lich.
wizard. He was a
He's a
wizard from the
lich.
start.
Yeah, but the idea, I guess, in Stranger Things is he has the magical powers and he has a big hand, which
He has a big
would
hand.
they have known? Genuinely, genuinely, that's like half the reason they call him that.
That's so fucking
Which I don't know
stupid.
if they know. I don't remember because I refused to watch season four again. I don't know if they saw him before they named him Vecna.
No,
I don't remember,
they no they. My mom
but
was rewatching it. That's why I was thinking about it because she
okay,
wanted to finish it and be done with it because she heard the show was done. And they straight up call Vecna before Max even fucking sees him, even like in the flesh.
okay, that's dumb.
Hmm. It's always another thing is like part of season two. They're like, oh, so how do you kill a mind flayer then? And that pissed me off because I'm like, you just fucking named it that. It's not at all based on how mind flayers in D&D work. It's fucking. And
I
then
know.
Dustin gives a wrong explanation. The way to kill mind flayer is always the same. You fucking kill a mind flayer or you punch the fuck out of the elder brain, but they'll just make another one if you
Hmm.
let them live. It's why it's not the D&D complaining episode. That'll be in like February if I remember.
And how do you kill a mind flayer? Apparently, you wait for it to unveil its master plan and get a physical form, and then you stab it a bunch and shoot it with a regular ass
Dude,
rifle,
okay.
and that's it.
I will say a little annoying that like chuds on Twitter are like, "Oh, can you believe?" I swear, every time I see it, she gets shorter and like thinner. Insert
Nancy?
height here, insert weight here. Nancy Wheeler been able to like rail these
Oh
shots on
yeah.
everything because with
I do
the
think it's really funny. I do
it
think
is
it's really
hilarious.
funny
It
that
is.
when she's shooting it, like takes the top of the gun and like
Oh, she
pumps it.
does not cock it properly. Yeah,
Yeah, like what the fuck? I don't know
she
what the fuck's going
she
on there. I
she
think that's really
mimes
funny.
something
But
with the carrying handle when she should pull back on the
uh-huh,
charging handle.
yeah.
But I don't think it's stupid to say she'll land her shots on the huge fucking kaiju.
It's big.
Her
It's
her
big. And she's
styling
not
on the
like
military is fucking stupid though.
I agree with that. I agree with that. She says she's a good shot, which I guess she's had
She
well, she's
she
a
has always
shotgun, right?
been using. In the first season it was revolver. In the second
Okay.
season she didn't fight. No, she was just bitching at Jonathan. Then was in the labs. Season three she had the
She was a reporter. I
shotgun.
think yeah, she had the shotgun.
She did end up picking up a gun. Season four, she also had a shotgun and I think a pistol that
Also
she
shotgun.
shot like twice and then gave to someone else.
Hmm.
I think Robin. And then season five, she just is fucking kitted out with everything from what I've seen. Like I think she has generally every single fucking firearm on her.
Yeah.
Does she actually have
I
fingerless
think that's
gloves? I
three or
can't
something.
remember. Does she have like fucking fingerless
I
gloves?
didn't pay attention. I don't know.
Say. I don't remember. I remember thinking that her getup looks fucking stupid. They really want to make her look like I don't know, like the reboot Laura Croft instead of like
I was just so upset that the fight ended so quickly.
oh my god, so guys, remember, I only watched up to like I keep saying four and a half, but it was really like four and a third. I didn't see any of five. Do they really not encounter a single fucking Demogorgon or Demodog or Demobat in the
Yeah.
climax? That is,
So
oh my
they
god,
actually never encounter a Demobat ever again after Eddie dies.
you're
They literally
fucking
existed
with
for that
me.
episode to kill Eddie, and that was it. They don't show up ever again. They're not mentioned ever again.
Oh
The
my god.
Demogorgons show up in volume one of season five.
Oh, right, they
When
released it in
they attack the
half.
military. I don't like that from in season one they were slow, lumbering, very humanoid. And then the
Yeah.
demo dogs are more animalistic. That makes sense, sure. It's whatever, it's their life cycle. Cool, I can get behind that. But in season five, they're running at like 80 miles an hour. on all fours, which I don't like. I think that's dumb.
I was gonna say like the
But they do
strength.
clear out military bases.
Okay, I was about to say the strength I remember of from season one to season one. Really, they only saw Demogorgon season one. Barely watched four. Was the because again I didn't
They
watch
weren't
the
present at
Hopper
all in two
gulag
and
scene.
three. Technically, it was the demo dogs in two,
Yeah,
and then it was there in four when
I
Hopper
didn't.
kills it.
I didn't watch that
Which
scene because I thought it was stupid that they even had a fucking Demogorgon in Siberia. I thought it was stupid
mhm,
he lived at all.
I
I'll get
agree.
into that in a bit. But one
All the
thing I
Russia stuff
remember
was dumb.
it in season four absolutely. In season three it was fun. In season two it was
In season three,
barely
it was okay. It was
fun.
probably the weakest part, but it was still fine.
It was the
Season
weakest
four
part,
was
but honestly,
stupid.
like, okay, it was the weakest part narratively, but it was the strongest part character-wise. Why I gave a shit. Every
Yeah,
single other
yeah.
person that was not Dustin, Steve, Robin, and I think her name's Erica, right?
Erica,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone that wasn't those four were the most insufferable pieces of human garbage I have ever had the displeasure of watching
Yeah.
on a screen, and I genuinely hated three for that. But I remember season one, the Demogorgon's main like strength was that it was really good at being stealthy, and when it did show its
Yeah.
face, it was a tank. And
Hmm.
you know, it could
It
swing
took,
like a fucking truck too, but it didn't even really
they
do.
had to scare it off. They had to plan an attack. They like burned
And they
it.
didn't even kill it. They
Just
just
the,
drove it
yeah, they
back.
didn't kill it. They wounded it and it went away.
But I'll say that, right? It's like their plan was shitty, and you know the whole point was like it was kind of shitty, and they needed Steve to step in and save them because their morale
Hmm.
broke. But he did save them, and in fact he saved them so hard he got to fucking style on the Demogorgon with a bat flourish and then a fucking
Yeah.
headshot with the bat, right?
Uh-huh.
Compare that to the newest one, where it takes genuine like actual several magazines and keeps trucking like it doesn't affect it. It recoiled from a fucking bat from a teen, and you expect her to think like this is some fucking like
Yeah.
gargantuan
At least in
unkillable
season
super soldier?
one, like in season one, it is consistent with its strength.
Yeah,
Like it does get wounded by that, but that's like the only time they fight it. So sure, that makes sense. It's like it's more durable, but it's not invincible. Um,
so you can still see it.
but then in season
Oh, I got
two,
him.
the dog. I don't. Again, I don't really remember, but I don't think the dogs were like that durable. But
No,
then
because Steve
there's so many of
also
them, so they get
Steve. I
swarmed.
think didn't. I don't think he sent one flying, but he sent one reeling back with like a fucking golf swing from the bat. And they didn't. They only liked fighting when they outnumbered something. They would
Yeah,
never one on one. And then
which
obviously
is
like
smart.
Bob got fucking killed. I don't remember his name at all. Like bullets scared them off. Bullets actually hurt. They killed one. I guess Elle did
Hmm.
because with the fuck she screamed. I remember them stuffing it in the fridge. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
What the fuck happened with that? Actually, they just take the body or
I
that
don't
was
remember.
you know that was a looking back. I felt like that should have mattered more.
I just
But
don't remember. They might have used it for because it's connected to the hive mind or something. They might have used it there.
I
I
don't.
don't
I
remember.
genuinely couldn't tell you. But like, yeah, nothing was like tanky. More importantly, because it was just coated in flesh. It had no armor. It was squishy. They
Hmm.
were literally squishy because they were just flesh fuckers, right? They were just
Yeah,
meat and tendrils. But now they're trying to retroactively make it like armor plating.
it was like you're fighting like a bear. Like
They
they're gonna be
described it
able
as
to
a bear
take
a
some
few
hard
times, yeah.
hits from you, but you're not gonna like. It's not impossible to kill, but you're probably not gonna be able to do a whole lot without like that many weapons.
Without help, without fucking jumping it, which
Yeah.
they ended up having to do. Hell,
Hmm.
Elle couldn't kill it in season one. They just shoved it back in the school portal. That was weird. But
They
like,
didn't shove it back. She kind of disintegrated it.
did she? I
I
thought
don't
she
know,
shoved it back.
which is
I
a
don't know.
feat she never does again.
Oh yeah,
Because I
that's so
remember it
true.
turning into ash.
I remember Ash
Like it
too,
did
but I thought that
turn
was
into
just
like
because like it
particles.
closed up.
It definitely didn't go into a portal because I remember she like it vanished. I don't know if she like because she kind of also vanished the same way and she was sent to the upside down. So
That's
I
what
don't know
I
if
assumed that she like
I
fucking
assume
portaled
it got
off.
sent back, but it was ambiguous in the first season. Sure, it was the first
Which
season.
is definitely a strength of the first season is that they didn't
Yeah,
answer everything,
because it was like it took everything to get rid of it, and it's not clear whether they actually killed it or just sent it back.
which
Which
was really
cool, I
good.
like that.
Yeah.
But then in season 4 onwards, they're just tanks. They're
They're
unkillable
they're
until at the right
tanks, which
moment.
makes it worse that nobody dies.
It's
Outside of
so
the people you
annoying.
know are gonna die. I saw a
It's so
clip
annoying that in
where
season
Lucas
5,
fucking
they're
shoves off a demo dog with like a limp kick in an elevator. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
I'm not the first time I watched that, I didn't see the kick, and so I thought it literally hit an invisible wall.
Dude, it might as well have for all the force he put behind that shit. Like, it
I
was
know.
so unimpressive. No offense to the
Like,
actor, right? I'm sure they're all sick of working on this project. I know Finn Wolfhard has
yeah,
practically said as much. I respect the hell out of that
I
man
know.
for just publicly saying
And
that.
like the Demogorgon that attacks their house. So, Demogorgons can somehow shrug off point blank shotgun shells
Oh, fucking wine
when
mom, dude. She's fucking.
a wine mom, which like had this been the season 1 Demogorgon, I'd believe it would get injured from that.
I
It's a
would.
sharp
Mhm.
object, a bat with nails works on them. Sure, that makes sense. It'll make them bleed. But then a couple episodes later, Demogorgons are mowing down soldiers that are shooting them with
Also, she stabbed it
actual
in the mouth,
shotguns.
which first of all, respect. Second of all, I don't know if I would have done that.
The
Third of all,
weakest part,
it upset me
yeah, I
because
wouldn't have done that.
she broke the glass and because I'm weird, so I know how to break a glass bottle to make a improvised shiv. She broke it wrong. You're supposed to choke up on the
Yeah.
actual bottle itself, or it just breaks in your hand and cuts. Anyway, um, I remember seeing that scene. It was cool because I saw the whole scene because everyone was on Twitter being like, "Oh my God!" They were like power scaling with like Ted or whatever his name is, and like over exaggerating his speeds. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I had to see the scene. The parts where they're genuinely like, because up until that point, the mom, dad, and sister didn't know shit, right? Or at least they knew
Uh-huh.
government happened, but they didn't know like actually what happened. It was just Mike and fucking
Which
Nancy
everyone in the
swimming.
world should have known because in the end of season 4, we literally see like the upside down leak
Oh my God,
into
right.
the real world, and we see the clouds with the lightning, and then they go, actually, we just shoved some fucking sheet metal onto it, and that stopped it.
Stupid.
And then we
Um,
discover, and then we discover that Elle can just lift it with her mind, like it's not really bolted in that well.
so fucking
And then
bad.
the Demogorgons can burst through it, and they can just create rifts in the ground now, anyways. So it's not like they even really needed that. I guess to collide the worlds, but whatever. He could have just sent the Demogorgons there and then killed everybody, and then he could have done his plan.
Whatever it may have
Stupid,
been. But I remember seeing
stupid.
the full scene, and I thought the parts where the mother and daughter Wheelers were genuinely horrified and trying their absolute damnedest to hide from the Demogorgon was actually
I
really
like
well
the scene
done.
of them hiding the bath. I thought that was
That
actually
was
really
pretty well
scary.
shot. Like that made me tense a little bit. I
It
thought maybe
reminded me
they
a
were
lot of
actually gonna
season
kill
one,
the mother.
except for the fact that they
Mm-hmm.
showed the monster more.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say too, like we barely fucking saw the bastard in season one, almost like the Bruno from Jaws, right? Which is good. That's
Hmm.
props to the show. Now they're fucking everywhere. I partially blame Dead by Daylight for popularizing them. Not that I'm actually blaming DVD for doing anything. That is probably the best depiction of the
Yeah.
Demogorgon at all. Because it's an unstoppable monster, which I know I just got off of saying like, oh, I don't like how in four they're unstoppable monsters, but like, if for a game, you could take liberties. I will say I think the Dead by Daylight depiction of the Demogorgon actually shifted a lot of how the writing went moving forward. So it came out in around the time of season three, right? If I remember correctly, the pack.
I think so.
And its whole power, if you don't know, is it makes rifts in the map and it can teleport between them using portals. Servers can close them up, whatever. Um, I feel like its power being that affected the writing because now rifts are a lot more prevalent. When
Well,
in season one they
to be
kind of just
fair,
happened.
it wasn't really clear in season one was just vague on purpose, but it wasn't really clear in season one whether the Demogorgon could open them or not. Because I think there was one that was just in a tree, and I assumed that one
I think
naturally
that's the one
formed or
that,
whatever.
yeah, that's the one where it came out. Will got kind of just like
Yeah.
shanghaied in the woods.
Hmm.
I forget if there was a
But
third
then
one. I think there was a third one
he
opening.
it does burst through the wall in the buyer's house because I remember the scene where the Demogorgon's like pushing against the wallpaper
Yeah, I
while
remember
I
that. Yeah,
think
it was
Joyce is there.
that
So
was a reference to Nightmare
it
on Elm
can like
Street.
burst through. Yeah. So like it can do that on its own. That was kind of always in its powers, and it had telekinetic powers before, and that's gone, but whatever. So it could technically do that, and then it's changed in season 5. And when I saw it, I noticed it. It's like the Dead by Daylight version where they just kind of like dig the
Fall
hole
out of
and
the
then
ground.
dive into it. Whereas
The
in
the holes that are
season
supposed
one,
to
it was
look
like they were
like
pulling through reality,
yeah,
but
the holes that are
whatever.
supposed to look like the tunnels from season two, except the tunnels from season two were fucking huge. Now, the reason why I
Yeah.
like the Dead by Daylight power is because like it's just barely big enough for the Demogorgon. Like they are not large rifts; they're kind of just like
Hmm.
tunnels. Makes it feel like a rat or like some sort of subterranean creature, which I thought fit for the Demogorgon because we never. So let's get on the life cycle now, I guess. With season two,
Oh my God.
I thought,
Oh my, you just remind before we do that, you just reminded me of the tunnels. The tunnels were bored by the vines from the Upside Down, right?
mhm,
A huge plot point in season two was that the tunnels and the vines were causing all the pumpkins and Hawkins to rot,
yeah,
which implies that the Upside Down leaking into the real world is toxic,
it's
which
corrupted.
implies
Yeah.
that the Upside Down is toxic. But in season one, they do take preventative measures. I think in season two
Oh
they
my
do too,
God! And see, yeah, yeah, they've
to
always
like
straight up been in fucking
guard
Ceta
themselves from
hazmats.
spores. But then after that, they don't, which I'd be like, okay, well, sure, they were just taking precautions. They now know it's safe.
But dude,
But why was stuff rotting in season two?
in the fucking science lab that they've been studying for months, they still were fucking up to the from tip to toe in fucking Ceta like
Hmm.
suits. Holy shit! I actually forgot about that. Thank you. That is such a bad oversight. Ooh, I know you want to have your like
Season five's Upside Down is just too safe in general.
oh and yeah, dude, like it. There's structures there.
Like in season two, it was a big plot point that like stuff was rotting, and so people like the whole
We're
Steve's
getting
whole outfit
sick.
that's in Dead by Daylight, where
That
like
outfit's sick as
he
fuck,
put
by
that
the way.
mask on. It is, but he puts the mask on to like block the spores. Everyone does that.
Dream. Uh,
That makes sense. But
he
life
said put the
cycle.
mask on. Um, so I and the time I loved it. Looking back, I don't know how I actually feel about it. Also, because they fucked it up. I really liked that we got to have insight, but not explanation, into the life cycle of Demogorgon. It started off with this little tadpole, this little worm spawn thing. Gradually grew into the Demodogs, and then from there we can extrapolate. Oh, it turns into a Demogorgon, and then whatever. I didn't get the pack mentality, but pack hunting's this buzzword that every villain and monster uses, right? Something something
Mm.
velociraptors do not pack hunting did not exist as a concept aside from little
It's kind of a cool
dinosaurs.
it's kind of a cool idea that like as they grow,
They become
they become
solitary.
like they go to solitary, which kind of that's kind
I
of
did
cool. I
like
like
that, and
that.
that is
Yeah.
reflective of like actual pack. No, that's okay. Not actual pack creatures, but like a bear's not clutch, but you get what I'm trying to brood
Yeah.
little spawn. Right, like cubs are raised together and then they go solitary. So, like
Hmm.
big cats that are not lions, cougars, I guess. And then the Demobats happened, and I didn't understand. First of all,
It's
we're
just weird
really
that like
stretching the demo prefix with
yeah.
Demobats
Yeah.
because there are actual D&D monsters that are like heads with wings and tails. I forget what they're called, but it's like I know it's like a I think it was a drow thing. It was like it was a well, it's still present in 5e, but like infections aren't fucking real and diseases aren't real in 5e and onwards, so
Yeah.
who cares? You would get infected in like a week if you didn't cure it. Your head would rip itself from your body, you grow wings and fly around and try to infect other people. It
Hmm.
was really cool. But they called it Demobats. And I thought that was fucking
Yeah.
stupid because I didn't
That one
like the
annoyed
name.
me.
I also didn't understand. First of all, we never get a clear shot on them, probably because the CGI is not
I don't
meant to
even think
hold
they
up
have the
on
same
screen.
face.
They don't. They don't have the flower face. They have like
Maybe
predator
dumb.
mandibles, I think.
Mm.
Something like that. Uh,
It's just it's the life cycle is so weird because it changed. Like it was pretty understandable at first, where the Demogorgon finds some prey item. I guess it prefers people from the real world. Maybe their bodies are warm enough. I don't
it's like
know,
an
but
alien reference, right?
that's
It's
unexplained.
pretty on the nose,
Yeah,
but
it's like
yeah.
Alien. I'll whatever. I'll take it for what it's worth. Who cares? It's just a reference. Whatever, sure. But it takes a person.
We
It
care a
eats
lot
them.
about classic horror movies.
Yeah, it takes a person. It eats them, and then it uses what's left to take the vines and like it pumps their bodies full of the slugs, and then the slugs incubate and then turn into the like baby demogorgons, and then they go through their life cycle. So in my mind, it was like, okay, I guess the males are the ones that grow into demogorgons and the females are the other way around. But
I
one
figured they were
sex
just like
is like the tentacle that can reproduce.
hermaphroditic or something like that.
Yeah. Or it was just like some whatever, a weird ecological system
It's alien,
it uses.
not literally
It was
alien. It's
alien,
like Alien
sure.
Plus.
It was
Yes.
cool. It makes sense at least like the weird reptilian amphibian moist creature that's blind and relies on scent, which they got rid of. Um, and is like gross and slimy, comes from this dark, damp area, this dark, damp dimension. And they go, actually, it's from a giant Grand Canyon with lightning and lots of sand.
I
The
remember when
fuck?
you told me about that, and I thought that was genuinely moronic, because from the start, they've always been really slick, really wet,
Hmm.
and like not like raw. Like okay, when I say raw, I mean like the sort of weird plasma and like platelet fluid and like old blood that seeps out of rotten things when you poke them with a stick. Professional stick poker here. Um, they always looked like they were moist, like they just hell. Dustin outright calls it like an amphibian, like I think he says like a hellbender. Maybe I
Hmm.
fucking maybe I Stockholm
He might
myself.
have.
What is it called? Whatever. The actual Mandela affected myself
They're
into saying
called,
that.
they're called hellbenders.
But it's the Upside Down has been fucking flourishing with what looks like plant life for ages, and you're telling me it's.
Hmm.
And I understand plants exist in the desert. I know I'm Mexican. I've been there. I've been in the Sonoran, right? But those are woody. These are very clearly like thick trees, like fucking creeper vines, like shrub. Well, not like shrubs, but like a fucking Shadowfell version of Earth, right?
Hmm.
And thick
And then
tendrils
the abyss
coursing
is
with like
very
blood
dry.
water. And then suddenly, nope, it's dry because we
They
couldn't
were shown to
afford
hate
the
heat,
CGI. Yeah,
but then I guess they just live in a really arid area, which might not be hot, sure, but like it doesn't match what we've
no.
been told previously.
Arid areas are either fucking freezing or like boiling hot. Sometimes
I
literally.
assume it'd be pretty warm based on the characters being there, but whatever.
It's warm considering. Okay, well, also, why would it be fucking waterless if there's always clouds coursing with lightning?
I just took it to be like it's an evil dimension. There's no water.
That which
It's
is
just evil.
stupid.
I think it's fine that there's no water.
I don't.
At least in season one. At least in season one, it's like there's no water in the pool, and that's it.
But I thought that was just like, oh, it's like our world, but not. Instead of
Yeah.
pools being full of water, everything else is full of water, and the pool is dry. Nah, it's stupid.
Then the
But
lake's dry, which is weird, but whatever.
was it season four? The lake
In season four, the
portal
lake was dry and the upside
was it?
down.
Okay, I
Yeah.
figure that's just so they don't drown to death.
I mean that too. But there was just no water there
I
for some
hate the way
reason.
he killed the demo bat, by the way. First of all, Prehensile tells it like really fucking easy to, well, not like easy, but like they should be easy as shit to get off of you because the reason a chokehold's hard to get off of you is because the anchor point's over here with the tail. It's thin and spindly. You can just put your fingers beneath there and kind of just like pull, unwrap it from yourself. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have been struggling that fucking. They're tiny.
Yeah.
They are tiny. That thing cannot put enough force to put. How heavy is he? Like 170 or some shit? Steve on his back and nearly kill him with strangulation.
There's definitely more than 170.
I don't know. I don't know how weight works. And they took so long. This has been a real weird complaint, but they took so long to beat it to death with paddles. If I was to
Hmm.
beat a real bat to death with a paddle, and I understand they're not real bats, but you get what I'm trying to emphasize here. If I was to beat a real bat to death with a paddle, it would take 3 strikes at most, and that's if I was doing it with like sluggish movements. My point is, those things are not tough. That pissed me off that it took them that long to kill it. Obviously, it's so we could
I
get
just hated the demo bats in
I also
general.
just hated them. They were so. We
All
had
they did,
the dogs for the
all they
same
did was
niche
kill the character that
that I
needed to die that season, and that
I
was it.
didn't like. The character I didn't like.
I hate that every season they introduce a character
The
that's
guy with the
obviously
death
supposed to
flags.
be a fan
Poor
favorite, and it's like,
Barb,
oh, they're gonna die.
who was like,
At least the Barb had the like the dignity of it being season one, so she was a character that moved the plot by dying. Everyone else is pointless.
Bob was stupid. Everyone liked him.
Fucking Bob. Everyone was like, oh, Bob's.
Bob was
Everyone liked Bob
so
because
gonna die.
he was cool.
Because he
But
was a
like
good he.
they already set up that Hopper and Joyce are going to be a thing, so he
Why
was
couldn't
guaranteed
they
to
keep
die.
Hopper? He was a good character. He brought levity in a way that didn't make me want to fucking shove my
He was a good
fingers in my
father figure
ears
for
until they
Will.
meet in the center. That's another
He was a
point
better father figure for Will than
than
Hopper.
Hopper is. They have fucking 5 lines of dialogue throughout the whole series, and I fully believe that.
I
Joyce
think they do.
going across. Oh my god, that pissed me off season 4. Okay, background. I don't like it when characters are very sectionalized, when they have. So, I know I just said, oh, I like anthologies. I don't like. But that's because they're separate stories. I don't like it when a show or a piece of media has characters as Group A, Group B, Group C, and they're having their own interconnected stories adjacent from each other. It's fine when they're barely friends, but part of every fucking season is Dustin always being like, I keep calling you guys, why don't you fucking pick up for what's your lives? Are we not friends or anything? Because they're lampshading it. Because it doesn't feel like they're friends. Because they never talk to each other. It reached a head in season 4 when single mother Joyce Byers, who loves her 2 sons dearly, to the point of looking genuinely insane in season 1 for day and night trying to hunt down her son who went missing on a whim, long
She
beyond
picks
the
up
to the
her
point where
husband
she
because he
saw
didn't believe in her.
a body double of her son and refused to, she was correct, but refused to believe that is her son laying there on the table. I know my son is alive. Joyce fucking Byers.
I mean, now
And
she is
now it's
Joyce
Joyce
Hopper,
Hopper.
so
And then in season 4, she runs off in the Siberian wilderness to fucking look for Hopper, who might be there on a chance, on a fluke. And she's right again, but she didn't have any reason to be right. For all she knows, she saw him dissolve at the end of season 3, and she abandons her 2 incredibly traumatized sons in a new location to gallivant across the fucking globe to a major superpower that already has obvious aggression to America
a Russian
to a
military
Russian
political
fucking
prison.
gulag
What the
on the
fuck?
whim that Hopper's there, leaving her sons behind. One of her sons shut down, the other is falling apart. You can decide who I mean as which because honestly it could be either way. With his best friend who's adjusting poorly and their super powered freak child who is genuinely deranged on a whim to find a man she is certain dissolved with a guy she knows her son talked to, because she did not interact with Murray. Well, I guess season 3, but even then in season 3, I thought it was fucking like, why are you not there with your son, lady? He's obviously not doing okay. And you were like, I know you'll be strong. I have to go. You don't have to do shit. Your fucking magnets fell off your fridge. That's why you're abandoning your
I
son.
know.
For that's it has always pissed me off. Because season 1, sure, they were doing the clear adults and kids doing their own thing. Every piece of media does that. But Joyce's motivation was still, I'm finding my son. You boys be okay here. Let the adults handle it. And then she disagreed with Jonathan. That's why they split off, because he believed that he was dead, and that was where they split off because she was still
In
delusional. But
season
correct.
in season one, it's kind of cool because there's like two different
Yeah, because it was
like
just two.
archetypes of stories happening,
It was just
where you
kids
have
adults.
the kids are like doing like a classic monster movie type of thing,
And the
whereas
adults are
the
doing a
adults
noir
are doing like
drama.
a supernatural conspiracy theory thing.
Yeah.
Like it's cool. Like those are like they're investigating the same thing, but it's different like themes and different vibes.
And then season 2, I guess she's still with her son. Doesn't feel like she's not a character in season
Hmm.
2, honestly. It's neither is Will. He's a plot device, but he's always been that. No offense to the actor, I don't know his name. No offense to the actor for not knowing your name.
I hated hated Will in season 5. Holy
Okay,
shit.
we'll get into that. We get into that. But in season 2, I didn't like it. Right, Max is obviously the stand-in for the kids being split up, and then the shitty melodrama with like, why is Mike talking to another girl? That pissed me off. Um, then 11 has her own unconnected plot line where she meets with her sister. Everyone fucking hated that episode. So I'm glad
That's the
that's
lowest rated
general
episode.
consensus.
They bring her back. They bring her back.
And then
They bring her
Dust
back.
again.
And
Dustin.
she's all her all she, at least in her one
She
episode on season
dies.
2, right? She had aura, some
She, I,
form of aura because
I don't. I didn't like her. I
her
don't know if
abilities were
Steve.
kind of cool.
She didn't use them
She did
properly.
she did fuck with cops, which is kind of cool.
That is kind of
But
cool.
like she did do something, and she was kind of like this, like looking into a mirror as 11 and seeing like a more
What
worldly
if
is
I
like the wrong thing
sucked?
to say, but like a more free version of herself. And then they go, actually, we killed all her friends. We made her into a slave.
That was
We
stupid.
brought her into hell. And then for the rest of the season, she does nothing. She says nothing. She tells Alice she needs to kill herself, and then she dies.
She gets a gut shot and dies in 20 minutes. Um, but season two is where it starts. That thing I said where Dustin's always on the radio, like, "Where the fuck are you guys? I'm dealing with shit right now. I
Hmm.
need help from my friends." Because despite them all having seen Dart together, it takes him an episode to get Lucas and Max in, and it takes him physically showing up and being like, "Hey, where the fuck's Lucas?" And Eric is like, "I don't know, you stupid loser nerd. Go find Max. He's chasing after him." Like, and then Dustin's like, "Fucking fine, I will." Something like that effect. I don't remember. He goes to Mike's house instead, finds Steve, and then eventually they rope in. But he's still constantly trying. If I remember correctly, be like, "Hey, Mike, where the fuck are you? Some weird's happening with the Upside Down again. Could you get L for us?" And he's like, "No one picks up." If I remember correctly, anyway. And then like, fine, sure. It's like the kids are split up. Ooh, interesting. It's not, and I don't like how separate. Season three, it's the worst
Yeah,
because
she
he was gone the
worst.
entirety of the summer, and they show up one day to fuck with him and then fuck off for the story. Is what they do with that man. Only Steve is happy to see him, which I have always been a big fan of saying. I like Steve and Dustin's friendship. It's
They have the best dynamic in the
they
show,
have the
hands
best
down.
dynamic in the show, despite not having been friends from the start, like he ostensibly is with the rest of the D&D kids.
Yeah.
But like I said, they show up for one day to fuck with him and then fuck off. And then he is constantly, because he has a headset now, which is he was always been the radio operator, but now they just lean into it with a headset now, being like, "Hey, where are you guys? I see Russians, guys. I'm being fucking shot at. Could you maybe show up for once in your lives?" And then
In
finally,
season
what was it? Like
five,
they had someone
his
didn't have
hairdo
batteries
and
in.
the stupid hat he wears, he looks exactly like my aunt. And it drove me
What?
insane all season.
So that's another
Like
complaint to add
his
to the list.
his
Duffer
his
Brothers when
side
they had swag.
profile. Yeah, I know. His side profile of his dumb mullet with that stupid baseball
Oh, I
cap
got a
on.
mullet. That's
No,
dope.
no shade of the actor. Whatever.
From what I've seen, it's
It
cool guy.
reminded me of my aunt, and I didn't like that.
What was the reason no one answered him in season three? They someone didn't have batteries in.
I don't remember.
I remember that someone being like, "I need to find a pack of batteries."
Probably. I
Genu
vaguely remember that.
part. I really really didn't like them being split up in season three because some of their plots didn't matter.
Yeah.
Elle and
It's the worst in
Max's.
season four with plots that don't
I
matter.
guess Elle and Max's is mattered, but Lucas and Mike being like, "Oh, I wish we talked to our girlfriends more. Let's complain about that instead of talking to our girlfriends more." Was
Yeah.
genuinely stupid. And Will was like, "Guys, I just want to be friends. If you want to be friends, talk to the guy on the radio constantly, being like, where the, hey guys, are you fucking there? Hello? I
Yeah.
need help." Like, dude,
There's Russians below our
yo,
city trying to fucking kill us.
your boy, your lad, who was gone on summer camp, he's back. Maybe go talk to him if you want some fucking friends. You gonna do that? No? Maybe go see fucking Steve, the guy you bum free tickets in the Dawn of the Dead with. No? Did their plots matter at all? No, they didn't. Because why
It's
would
so
they?
much worse in season four. At
So, like I've been bringing up, Joyce saw Hopper
least
fucking
season one, two, three
dissolve.
was okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I have always been a loud and proud defender of the idea Hopper should have fucking died. And even if they're making season 4, Hopper
It's
should have died. His
it's
plot
truly
was over.
reality bending how he survived.
Genuinely, because Russians farther away from the reactor that we saw works like electricity were arced to the nearest anchor point. were vaporized in like 2 seconds. Hopper's like a foot away, but he lived
And his
because
rush
he
just like
because
drops down to a
he's
slightly
American.
lower elevation.
Because he's American. Despite it, like I said, arcing like a Jacob's ladder,
Hmm.
he should have died first. Honestly, he should have stayed dead. But
He
no,
should
he
have.
ends up in a gulag instead of executed. And then to execute him, after fucking escaping, they make him fight a monster. Coincidentally, the monster he knows how to fight. Coincidentally, they let him make a torch or something. Or what was it? What was it? Flares or was it a torch? I don't fucking. Who cares? Didn't matter.
I think he lights his sword on fire somehow.
What? That's stupid.
I
I
think
hate fire
no,
swords.
I think what he does is he wraps a piece of cloth around the sword, like around the tip of the sword, and he either has a lighter or a match from the dinner they had, and he kept that, and he uses that to light it.
That's stupid. Also, this is
And the
an
whole fight against Dumbledore is
amphibious
stupid.
creature up to this, because even still, I don't think they had the it's a desert lot in 4. I don't care how
They didn't have that
fire-verse
at
it
that point. They had
is.
it later on.
Yeah, I don't care how fire-verse it is. This thing has no fat. This should have frozen to death fucking years ago.
No, they do supernaturally like the cold. That is a thing. Like it
It's
probably should have froze, but that's just a thing. Like
that's
they should
stupid,
like
but I'll accept
more
it.
moderate temperatures, but that was established that they like. And I say this very loosely because I think Will was sitting in front of an air conditioner when he said it, but he likes the cold. So
I thought
the
that's just
mind
because he
flayer
was
and
actually
the
like
things that like the
boiling
cold.
alive.
No, the mind flayer hates heat and the hive mind hates heat, but they like the cold. I don't know if just the mind flayer likes the cold or all of the creatures like the
Which
cold, but they like the cold.
which IRL isn't how fire reverse creatures work, which is all creatures, by the way. Everyone's always like, fire's the weakness. Fire's the weakness for everything. Stick your hand in a hot stove for a minute. Albert Einstein said to do that. Also, his
He
final. Did
did.
you know Albert Einstein's final words were "me equals MC scared"?
I did know he said that.
That's his final words. Um,
I think he might have been scared.
every fire reverse creature is every creature. It's a weakness to everything. That's why fire is a purifying force because it consumes all. But that's just like an overall like thing in every story. But I like bringing it up. But whatever, I'll accept that, I guess. But they've changed so much about. Up, first of all, they never. We saw the Upside Down in like fucking in total like 20 minutes in season 1. Mostly in like weird close-up
Yeah.
shots where you can't see shit. Probably because I think the
Hmm.
budget was like pretty low for Stranger Things,
Budget
wasn't it?
was much lower, yeah.
Well, obviously you can, but then we can't spare enough budget in season 5 to make like environments in our Upside Down
It
world.
is
So let's
weird
just
how
say
as
it's a
budget
desert.
increases, it everything looks shittier.
This Upside Down genuinely has fucking rocks. I was trying to remember the clips I've seen. It just has rocks. There is no environment there. Despite
The abyss or whatever it's
when
called,
it
yeah.
was lower budget, we saw environment in the Upside Down. Like season 2 had the tendrils, like we were mentioning, and then season 5
The upside down
it's
hasn't changed. It was just the other dimension,
oh,
which
there's
is
a
a plot
oh
point I
right, there's a
really
third one now. You know what, you can talk about that because I know
well,
you
well
don't like
actually,
that.
well actually, the upside down isn't a dimension at all.
You
It's a
can
wormhole.
you can go ahead.
Fucking stupidest thing I ever. I've seen so I say so many. I saw one person, and that other people agreed with. They said that, oh my God, they hinted at it back in season one where they talk about wormholes
Actually, I'm gonna cut you off right now.
as if they
Um,
weren't,
no, no, yeah, you can finish this thought, and then
mm,
I'm gonna jump in.
as if they weren't obviously talking about the portals that they were using to get into the upside down being wormholes.
I hate as media goes on, people will look at the first book, episode, season, whatever, and be like, see, okay, if it's one season, you can look at the first episode and be like, oh, they alluded to it. If it's like more than that, you can't. I hate when people look at the first piece of media in a property and be like, see, they were hinting at this all along. When I was younger, I agreed. Now that I've begun writing shit, right, I realize you can
It's
never
like they
do
think the
that.
author can't could just look back at the previous thing they did and go, oh, I'll reference that.
Here's my biggest damning piece of evidence to like why you can never do that because it's a thing we all have experience with. Scott Cawthon has openly admitted in every single interview he's ever had that he didn't know what the fuck he was doing with the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. He didn't plan for shit. And when people look at anything like that, as expansive as I was going to say, like Five Nights at Freddy's, but no, even as Stranger Things, be like, see, in the first season they were clearly playing for this. That does not hold up fucking ever. Nobody predict. If you use the game and sequel or prequel, whatever, from the thing to justify your theories, don't. Because John Carpenter didn't know that
That
shit
wasn't
was
what
going
they
to
were
happen.
planning. Yeah.
And like we said at the start, Stranger Things was going to be a one off, or at least an anthology. They genuinely did not plan for this shit in any regard whatsoever.
That's why I hate
So
Vecna so much because he just randomly shows up in
he
season 4,
genuinely randomly showed he fucking
and then he never had a presence before that. He's never been alluded to, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, this big bad. It's not even a natural progression because at least with like the Mind Flayer, it's like okay, there's this dimension we don't know about. There's this creature we don't know about. We're going to expand on it and we're going to explain it a bit more by saying there's more of these creatures. They're all connected to this evil godlike thing. Sure, I can buy that. But then they take it a step. They somehow expand the scope to be this eldritch god, and then they diminish it for the final 2 seasons. Is like no, it's actually just a guy. It's just a dude. He's the
powered a
big bad.
stupid reveal. I am a big fan of
I hate
the
Vecna.
enemy's just a guy. I've always been a proud fan of the enemy's just a guy, right? Not to be like I'm better than you asshole, but I am better than you because I don't think I think I can have a story or I can experience a story and be happy with like the main villain not being some uber powerful like pseudo god and just kind of being a person with influence. And I'm fine with stories like that.
The
Stranger Things
problem is
was never
Vecna
that.
is uber powerful, but he's just a guy. He's just a guy that fulfills the same role as an uber powerful whatever the fuck.
You cannot do both. I fully believe that. You just cannot do both. You can go cheese underscore stick one. You can do both and have it be good. You can do both and have it be good. You can't do both for thematic reasons, right? Stranger Things never had
It's just
themes,
and we
right?
never figure out his clock motive either.
Oh, that actually had a. I thought that was just the gimmick for four. Was that they trying to expand on that in five, or they just drop it?
Like there's like a clock motif. Well, he has a clock motif in 4, and then he still has that like the sound when he does stuff in 5, which whatever he does in 5, who even knows. But he has that, and I think at the time it was just like, oh, when he was a kid, he stared at this clock, and so it's just kind of like a scary thing that he saw in his childhood and whatever. It's just kind of his motif.
Because
Sure,
remember,
whatever.
guys, complete
But then
egomaniac
he kidnaps 12
psychopaths
kids.
have always been weird, and you can always tell that they're weird because they do shit like look at the clock for hours. Even
But
murderers
then he
don't do
kidnaps
that. I
kids.
hate this constant thing in media where like the
And
villain
he
is
always
like,
talks about like it being time. And it's
what?
referenced so often. I mean, he says it is time like so many times in season 5. But he's like there's like
Okay,
clearly a
are
reference
there
to it or like
kids?
supposed hints and they
Are,
just don't go anywhere
are
with
there
it.
kids with numbers higher than 12? Because if like there's even a kid named 13 or some shit, like I was gonna say, oh maybe the number's
I
on the
don't think
clock.
so.
Okay, then maybe the number's on a clock because like 1 through 12, he was
No,
one.
no,
No, okay.
no.
Well,
He
I
kidnaps
tried.
12 kids in season 5 for no reason. It's just arbitrarily 12. The Duffer Brothers didn't even try to connect it to like the clock that
Anything.
he uses or whatever.
So what was up with the kaiju fight? I keep seeing on Twitter like,
Oh
oh,
my
it's a kaiju
fucking
fight.
god. Oh my god. Okay. So Vecna's let me run down the whole thing. So the whole plan, right? In season 4, it seemed like Vecna was trying to he kills 4 people because he needs 4 to create a psychic link strong enough to bridge the gap between the upside down and the real world.
What?
His plan's kind of foiled halfway through. Whatever, just
How
roll
does
with
that
it.
make what? You kill 4 people and make a psychic. Shouldn't you infect 4 people and make a psychic link?
No, I think because like when he kills them, the psychic power increases or his power. I don't know. It's something psychic, whatever. He kills 4 people, he gets a power up. After he
Okay.
kills 4 people as a part of this like weird ritual, the town splits into 4 with like giant rifts creating an X through the town, and the rifts leak out the upside down. The government patches it up pretty much immediately, and nothing comes of it. I guess Vecna was defeated partially and is recovering. but he could just send the Demogorgons up there. Whatever, he doesn't do that. This was actually not his end goal, and the fact that he was bitched at the last episode did not matter because this was just a setup that he had to do in the real world somehow, but it was just a setup for his ultimate plan, which is, and to, for this all to work, they had to retcon the Upside Down. In season 4, they established this other weird place that's like a kind of like a deserty area that he's sent to by 11. And up until this point, she sent the Demogorgon there, right? So she opens a rift and she shoots him through it. What I thought at the time, and I might be stupid for thinking this, but I thought it was like a primordial Upside Down because it was just kind of barren. But there were Demogorgons there, and the Mind Flayer was present. So I was like, oh, okay, these Upside Down native things obviously have to live in the Upside Down. So this is just the Upside Down before it looked like Hawkins, and then it's somehow formed into Hawkins, whatever. Another plot point that I fucking hate that I'll get into later is the fact that the Upside Down is trapped in a certain date, which doesn't matter. They hint at it for so long in season 5, and it doesn't matter. Whatever, they retcon that. I don't care. I hate it. But he gets into this dimension, and that's where he connects with the Mind Flayer. And they work in a mutualistic agreement. We find out in season 5 they're not controlling each other. No one's controlling the other. They work together to try and make this other dimension that we find out is another dimension in season 5. They want it to physically collide with Earth to destroy it, I guess. I don't know. It would kill everyone in both worlds, was hinted at. But for this all to work, they had to retcon the Upside Down to, instead of just being a dark mirror dimension of the real world, it is actually a wormhole that contains the Upside Down and the Abyss, which is the other dimension. But like it's like an hourglass shape where our world's on top, the Upside Down's flipped upside down. Compared to the real world, the Upside Down
Okay, so
dimension,
upside down's like the channel that the
other
sand
dimension,
falls through, and the abyss is the other
yeah, yeah,
half of the
and the Abyss
vessel.
is the bottom,
Okay.
yeah. Um, and so like if our world were right side up, the Upside Down's upside down, and then the upside down version of the Abyss is right side up, and then the real version's upside down, kind of like yeah, like an hourglass. But here's the thing, right?
Here's
The
the
Upside
thing.
Down did not exist. Here's the thing. John Carpenter's the thing.
Really
The
good
Upside
movie.
Down didn't exist in its form until 11 makes contact with the Demogorgon. At that point, it's in season 5, it's explained as she touched a thing in the abyss, which she didn't because it's very obviously in the Upside Down in the vision because it's wet and it's around wet things, but whatever, the vines don't exist in the abyss. How the fuck is it around vines? Whatever, who cares? She touches some living creature in the abyss and the psychic connection between them because the Demogorgon is a living thing, I guess, and that's it. Just does that. It can just do that.
She feels more like a
But it
biological
creates a
android.
bridge. I don't know. It's weird. Their biology changes, but it creates a bridge between the dimensions, screenshotted in this time, which is not correct because
Oh shit.
that's not how it worked in season 1.
Yeah, because she used the fucking Ouija board on the wall.
Because Joyce used the Ouija board out of lights, which worked to communicate with them, which she could communicate with him without a walkie-talkie, which is retconned in season 5. But
What?
also at the very end of season 1, Hopper puts a fucking Eggo in like a chest in the woods with the obvious implication that he's leaving it there for 11 since she's trapped in the Upside Down. How would that have worked if it's like a screenshot? Whatever, who cares? Anyways, the bridge is created connecting the two dimensions. I guess at this point the Demogorgons and the Demobats flood into that dimension and call it home. This is also the night that was taken. And then eventually, blah, 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 all that stuff happens. And Vecna's plan is to crush this wormhole and connect and like merge the two universes. We find out in season 5, before any of this, that there's a wall surrounding the Hawkins Upside Down.
What?
And that's like yes, there's a giant wall. For most of the season, they think that Vecna's inside this wall. Dustin finds out through geometry that the wall surrounds Hawkins then in the Upside Down. It's a giant flesh wall. And they find out that the center point is at Hawkins' lab. So it's just like a funnel kind of between the dimensions. Sure,
Okay, I
whatever.
guess he could, but I'm thinking like that would be fucking huge. It would take him a long ass time to get that right.
It would because he needs to measure 3 points to do it, and he doesn't go to three places. He sits in one spot and does it, so it doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
God forbid we
Who
actually
cares
know
anymore?
like geometry.
And Steve doesn't, and this is this big thing about like, bro, you don't know geometry, bro. What the fuck? Whatever.
I want to make a
They
point
find out that
on
the center
Steve
point,
later. Remind me.
yeah, they find out the center point of this wall is the Hawkins lab. So like, go there. Maybe there's like a hint there, whatever. They find out there's this big sphere on top of the Hawkins lab,
What
which has
the
melted some of the
what?
lab.
What?
It's a giant invisible, I shit you not, a giant invisible sphere atop the Hawkins lab. When they go there, Nancy and Jonathan find it, and they see like a weird shimmer in the sky, so they throw a rock at it, and they like see there's a thing there, and like, whoa, what the hell's this? At the same time, Dustin finds Brenner's notebook in the Upside Down, which explains everything about it. They find out that
Because
this
of course,
is not. They think it's a shield generator
fucking
creating this
Resident
wall,
Evil.
right?
My lab notes detail everything. Fucking
They find out that this sphere was created by scientists.
what the fuck? Okay.
It was. They specifically say it's not magic. It was made with science. It is a sphere containing exotic matter that holds the wall together. Now, I don't know how they made this. I don't
What
care
the
how
fuck?
they made this. How the fuck did Eleven create the Upside Down by making contact with the Demogorgon, which we have established locked in that time? If it's a wormhole between dimensions and the thing that is keeping it intact and stable was created by scientists, how did they get it there? Because once the wall goes down, the upside down is obliterated entirely. So it
What?
doesn't make
What?
any sense as to how they contained this thing. They like physically could not, unless they had this prepped before she did it, and they somehow contained the exotic matter, but then they would have had to put it into the upside down. But the upside down can't exist without this sphere because the sphere contains everything. It doesn't make any sense as to
God
how
forbid we
it
have a
exists at
single
all.
person double check our script.
I know, it's stupid.
This makes me so mad I have
And
to
then
go
what
use the
happens?
bathroom. Oh, you can finish the thought. I can wait.
Okay, go ahead. No, no,
Oh,
no. It's way more. Go,
okay, I
go.
need to go. Alright, pause. And unpaused. If you're here, I should have checked.
Okay.
Let me crack open this
So
can. Nice.
after they find the sphere that contains the exotic matter that keeps the upside down
Alright, that's the plot.
in
Okay.
check, Dustin tries to contact Nancy and Jonathan to like warn them about it because their plan was, I guess, to destroy it to break the shield.
I assume he can't.
Earlier, earlier, Steve and Dustin got into a fight that broke the walkie-talkie because they were arguing over Eddie's death, which is one of the best scenes in the season, actually, where Steve yells at Dustin for being a little bitch because Eddie killed himself by doing a stupid thing,
Alright, his actually
which
genuinely
is
needless
objectively
death.
correct. Yeah, but
People have calculated
the
this was
thing's
a stupid
broken.
death.
It is. He does nothing. But
Perfect.
he tries to contact them with the broken thing and it doesn't work. So Nancy shoots the orb with her shotgun. This causes a giant explosion that sends her and Jonathan flying back.
They don't die.
And throughout the scene, they don't die. Throughout the scene, we've seen that like parts of the lab have kind of melted and then like re-solidified. So like it looks like the walls are kind of leaking themselves, and like there's like soldiers like mummified and trapped in the floor,
That's
and
cool.
the whole top, the whole really horrifying. Actually, it's really cool. But it's like everything's leaking. Stuff is like the color on like the warning sign is like leaking into the door. It's like it's gross. It's cool. We see that the very top of the lab is melting and it's in directions away from the orb. So they shoot it and it starts reactivating this melting process and all the matter starts to like turn into liquid. And so they get Jonathan and Nancy get sucked into the floor, like it liquefies under them, and they get sucked into a cum room, which is what I will
What?
affectionately call it. It's just white goo all around them.
Oh, perfect.
And it starts flooding into the room and like filling up the room with melted wall. and they should have died because they made a stupid decision. But they don't. The Duffers won't kill them, so whatever.
Plot
But
armor.
the room's flooding, and they're like trying to get to higher ground, and they have a scene where the Duffer brothers later confirm was a breakup scene, which I did not get at all. But they start like airing out all their grievances with each other and like the problems in the relationship. And then Jonathan takes out the ring that he's been harboring all season. And he's like, I was going to propose to you. I see that was a stupid decision now. And he's like, will you not marry me? I thought that
That's
was them
stupid.
trying to be like, yeah, it was. But I thought that was them being like, everything's out now. Like, we're going to try and be better from here on out. Like, we understand each other better. Let's take things like slowly. Let's not try and rush into something.
Genuinely, what the fuck
Apparently, that was a
is
breakup, which I didn't get at
Nancy's
all.
character? From the start, she's always been pretty like. I was saying this makes me feel weird always because like it always everyone says it like it's a backhanded compliment, but she's always been a really progressive like female lead, except for the
This
relationship
season, all she
aspect.
does. This season, all she does is be a Rambo type character that just shoots shit to find her sister, and then she kind of progresses Steve and Jonathan's story, and that's kind of
I think
it.
that's lame, right? I like it. Look, believe
Yeah, I
me, I
agree.
fucking love strong women, but I think that archetype is pretty stupid. I'd like my strong women to have a
Yeah.
personality, but
She also
like I said,
like.
she's always been a pretty good like actually self-reliant female protagonist,
Mhm.
unless it relates to any of the men in the story, in which she's either moronically stubborn or totally ineffectual and limp-wristed.
She's just kind of moronic in this season.
Wonderful.
Like, there's this thing that she sees in the lab that is this giant invisible orb that she shoots with a shotgun without understanding what it is. She doesn't wait to like. She's not like, oh, let's regroup with the others and see what it is. Like maybe
Despite
they
being an
found a clue.
investigative journalist,
Hmm. And then at the in the final episode, she's like, everyone's like, we need to draw the giant mind flayer kaiju, which I'll get to this canyon, and she's like, I'll do it
oh,
immediately,
the
and she
scene where
runs up to
she's
it to shoot
walking
it.
forward and shooting, she goes, "Go!" back at
Yeah.
them. Fucking,
She's like borderline suicidal with her shit, where she just walks up to shoot things, which whatever.
it'd be a good like
Anyways,
plot if they addressed that she's being basically borderline
yeah,
suicidal.
yeah, it would be because they do that with fucking Dustin and
Is
Eddie,
Dustin
or not
being?
Eddie, Steve. Dustin, I mean, he purposely got his ass kicked by the bullies in the first episode or whatever, which kind of threw off the whole plan. And then he's always been like altruistic to the point where he will sacrifice himself.
Steve's the babysitter.
Um,
Remind me on this specific
yeah,
plot point later.
like he almost killed himself in the episode, in the goo episode, to try and like run up a flight of
Goobisode.
stairs because like the stairs were melting. So he put a ladder down. He was gonna cross the stairs, but Dustin was like, "Don't do it. You're gonna get yourself killed." And then
Oh, like that
the ground
scene.
melted and the
Remind me of the
stairs
scene
disappeared.
from the Left Right game. If anyone's ever read or heard that story, the part where the road starts melting. Oh, that's so good. It way better in that story. I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah,
No shocker there.
it pissed me off how they should have killed Nancy and Jonathan. They
They
magically
just
don't die because the goo solidifies right out, like immediately before it would have consumed them.
God forbid that we commit to the scene with the soldiers being shown. Also, Nancy's
And then
kind of
Steve
short.
somehow finds them pretty quickly. They were on top of a table, so it didn't like
That's
it didn't
super.
even like solidify on
No
them.
soldiers
Whatever.
droid getting on the table. That's fucking.
I guess they just sat in it until they were fucking waist deep. Who knows? Um,
Shout out to the Left Right game.
but yeah, they survived that, and the thing heals itself and doesn't.
What? No.
Oh, when they
Oh,
shoot it, it
fuck
shoots
me,
out a
Dad.
shockwave. When they shoot it, it shoots out a shockwave as well, which hits the wall and destroys part of it. It starts sucking things into the void. It sucks a car. It rips a tombstone out of the ground and vines off of trees to suck things into the void. Hopper, Al, and Collie are standing there with nothing in the way, and they don't get sucked in, which is dumb. And they
Car
run to
gets
find
left
like
in.
an open portal and they jump through it. Somehow they defy physics. Whatever. Who cares? but the wall was partially destroyed, and then it mends itself off screen, I guess. Um,
Self-repair protocols engage.
they just leave. They just leave. Who cares? Um, anyways, this orb. Vecna's plan is to collide the two dimensions, and so
For
he
some
does this
reason.
by kidnapping 12 kids. Arbitrarily needs 12 kids. Arbitrarily needs kids. The explanation that he needs kids
Was
is
there
that they're
ever
easier to manipulate.
rituals before season 4? There was the
No, it wasn't.
fucking melting of people in season 3. That wasn't a
Yeah, there was the
ritual. That
melting
was
of
just
people, but it
like
wasn't a ritual.
they needed just mass. It was a clear
Yeah, the
invasion
mind
of the
flayer just
body
needed
snatchers
matter.
reference.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
In
the
season
fronts
four,
have
he does
seen
the
that
weird
and
ritual to like
references it.
kill 4 people and create his thing. And then in season five, at least in season four, it's very clear what his goal is, and it's clear like he needs 4 people to do this thing. And it's like there's clear like checkpoints and like landmarks along the way. In season five, he just arbitrarily kidnaps 12 kids. Once he has all of them, he has to like wait till a certain moment to do his plan. I don't know why he has to wait. It's not really anything that happens to give him like a
At
power
least it's
boost.
kind of cool that the show starts and ends with a kidnapping or perceived kidnapping.
Yeah. They spend way too much time focusing on the kidnapped kids. I don't care. They serve no purpose.
Only one
Because
mattered,
like
and that was the sister.
and she escapes. And
For the better.
I have a problem with Vecna letting her escape because he immediately because there's a hive mind, he notices she disappears, right? And she like escapes and she leaves. So he very slowly descends from like all the vines he's connected to and starts walking towards her. She has like a kilometer, not a kilometer. I think it's 1,000 feet on him. And
Fifth of a
he's just
mile.
walking at her. He doesn't run. And then what happens is
Can't
she
he
pulls apart
fly?
some of like the ground. He can, probably. 11 can. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. Um,
Dude,
and she
luck
like
tech
pulls
1
apart like a thing
plus
on the
1.
ground,
It's crazy.
and Holly dives into the upside down from the abyss.
Right,
For some
because it's a
reason,
separate
gravity
runway. I
works
forgot.
a very specific way in
What?
the upside down. Gravity only directs you towards the Hawkins part of the upside down. There is no gravity anchoring you to the abyss section of it, right? Which is
Is
really
this
weird.
is this true? I remember in season 4 they climbed upside down out of a rope sheet or a sheet rope. Does that
Yeah, that's
track?
how the portals work. That's how the portals work to get into like the upside down stuff, right?
Hmm.
Like, because like if they throw something into the ceiling, it'll stick. Um, and that's from Hawkins into the upside down Hawkins area. But when Holly climbs through the portal in the abyss, she falls like from the sky. Like it
And
makes them
lives.
because it doesn't make sense as to how it works because it's she doesn't live. I was hoping she kind of splat on the concrete and die. Like there's a moment they kind of tease that, but it doesn't happen, whatever. But she falls, even though like the way gravity works is that gravity pulls you down in Hawkins, and then when you're in the upside down, it pulls you to the floor of the upside down. When you're in the abyss, it pulls you to the floor there. So the only anomaly is the fact that there's just no gravity on the upside down abyss section. I guess the orb also does that. Who knows? But she falls,
Fucking singularity
and she
awakens.
falls. Who even knows? She falls like I thought she hit the orb because she just kind of like levitates
Oh, you cut out. Or did I cut out? Fucking one of us did.
probably several
Oh,
mile
never
drop.
mind. You cut out.
I just she, yeah, she was falling for at least a mile, probably several miles.
But she lives.
Um, no, Vecna freezes her in midair so that she can see Nancy, and then pulls her back up, which means her escape did nothing because Vecna captures her immediately.
And why
But
did
Vecna also, while she was in the abyss running from him, he did not think to grab her with his psychic abilities then. He waited for her to fall through the other dimension for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know
he
why he
could have
waited.
fucked
He's
that
just
up
dumb.
bad. Like he could have
Yeah, he could have.
missed.
He's just dumb. I don't know why he kidnapped. Because he sends the Demogorgons to kidnap each of the kids. I don't know why he kidnaps Holly. If he kidnapped random kids, other people, like
If he kidnapped
all the
random kids,
kids
he would
and
have
like the
won.
adults wouldn't,
He would have
they
fucking
just
won.
wouldn't have found out about it. He would have won. Stupid. Like they only start going after him
That's
because he kidnaps
actually
Ollie. It's
so
dumb.
fucking hilarious. If he kidnapped
He's actually
anyone else, he would have won.
he's so stupid in this because he doesn't need her. He doesn't specifically need them. I don't think he even specifically needs kids. They just say that like he needs kids because they're easier to manipulate, right?
You could just get
But
adults. Adults go missing all the time.
that's the
It's
thing.
the 80s.
The mind flayer can fucking take over the bodies of any adult at
Oh my
once.
fucking god, it did in season 3. That,
It did that
oh
in
my.
season three. But for some reason, it needs kids. Who cares? He kidnaps them, and then the worlds do start colliding. Keep in mind, this was a theory from Steve that this was how this was going to work. It
Makes
ends up
Steve
working.
right.
They climb the radio tower, and they like climb into the portal. Um, because what happens is as the world's colliding, they have 11 go into the bath and the upside down to
Didn't she
project
run an
herself into
obstacle
Vecna's
course?
mind. What?
Didn't she run an obstacle course? I remember seeing a
Oh
clip
yeah,
like she
that was
ran an obstacle.
pointless.
Like, what the fuck? I don't give a shit if
Yeah,
you
it
can
was
run
useless.
obstacle. You do brain powers. Shut his brain
It was
off.
that's what I hate. Her training should have been her like solving puzzles or something. Like I don't know what her running up a hill does for her, but whatever.
Running up a hill, season 4.
I'm fucking coming to kill myself. It's so prevalent in season five. Oh my god, Max is so stupid because she sees a
She
portal
has been since
to
season 2.
escape her mind.
Well, I guess it's no since season 3. She was good in season 3.
There are 3 instances in season five where she has the chance to escape, and every single time she
She
sees the
just
portal, instead of
doesn't.
immediately running for it, she just stands there.
I
Stupid.
hate when that happens in
Um,
media.
it's dumb. But
It's this whole season
11
so
projects
far. It sounds like a fucking idiot
stupid.
plot.
It is, it is, it is. 11 projects herself into Vecna's mind. Keep in mind the fact that there's water in the tank in the upside down doesn't make sense because there's no water in the upside down. So unless they transported the water there, but there's no scene showing that, so who cares? Who knows?
Doesn't she just make him have an
Um,
aneurysm and die?
who knows?
She snapped his neck.
But
She did that in fucking season 1.
I don't know. I don't know why she can't do that. But she projects herself into his mind and she flings him across the dinner table where he's doing this. He's like touching all the kids, they're like holding hands or
Maybe don't
whatever.
say that.
Ugh. Ugh. They're like all holding hands with
Okay,
their
that's fine.
their eyes rolling to the back of their head as they stare up into the ceiling. For his grand plan, and she throws him into like the wall to like break the connection, whatever.
It's stupid.
Um, and during this conflict, Vecna projects himself into Hopper's mind, and oh yeah, because he kidnaps Elle. Not kidnaps, but he like grabs her with his
I
gross,
did
disgusting hand.
see like a YouTube short from that guy, Classic Man D, who I think is pretty cool. He does a good job breaking shit down. I remember somebody being like, "Do you think? Why do you?" So whatever. He talked about the last season. He mentioned briefly something about like how Vecna read Eleven's mind to the point where
Mm-hmm.
he saw the plan, so it was stupid that
Mm-hmm.
no Demogorgons or
Yeah.
Demobats were gonna get
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and they just don't address that. Like
Keep in
he
mind,
knew.
he retook over Will for him to be his spy. And then
Okay.
after this, they form the plan. And he doesn't, this isn't used for anything. He
He
goes, "You're going to be my
knows.
spy now."
Uh,
And then they don't adjust that.
He tells him that, so Will should have just straight up been like, "Guys, I'm a spy. I'm going home."
Yeah. But he was there to listen to the plan. So whatever. Um, so he finds out through Will, and then he finds out through 11. And after finding out the plan, he doesn't think to go, I should
Maybe I
summon all my
should change
Demogorgons to
my
defend me.
plan.
Instead, the Duffer Brothers posted on Twitter or whatever the fuck in
But
the
he
press
didn't
release.
expect
They said
attack.
he didn't
How could
expect
he
it.
not have expected it? He fucking saw it twice! With the plan twice!
In Lord of the Rings, Sauron wasn't expecting anybody to withstand the ring's power and make it to Mount Doom, which technically he was right. Nobody could make it that far. It literally took someone ripping off his finger,
Oh, hey,
ripping off
he
Bilbo's
bit
finger,
that finger
whatever,
off. We in this
or
house, we
Frodo.
respect Gollum being genuinely
Yeah,
psychotic.
the only reason the ring was destroyed is because his
Gollum's a
finger was
freak.
bitten
Speaks
off.
Gollum's a freak.
Gollum's a freak. But even so, like even the fact that it was impossible, nigh impossible for anyone to make it that far, he still had those orcs loaded up. He was ready. Like
I do.
Them bitches were
Okay,
all
I
over
don't know if I
Nepean.
do or don't like when heroes win on a fluke, but that's a separate. Sometimes I like when heroes win on a fluke, but I don't know. Depends. But this, he saw the plan twice, dude. He knew the plan
Uh-huh.
twice.
And he didn't counteract it at all. And then he okay, I'm a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and this sounds like a completely random tangent. But
Nice.
in a lot of their fights, they have like the villain wins. Like the villain succeeds. Um in in part one, Dio kills Jonathan, right? But technically we're led to believe that he blows up on the ship with him. So like Dio wins, but then he's killed. In part two,
He's immortal,
Cars
so it
gets
doesn't
what he
matter.
wants,
Yeah.
the ultimate life form, but then he's blasted into space by against all means. In part three, Dio's back and he has the power to stop time.
By
He
the way,
pretty much wins,
spoilers.
kills two of the
I should have said
characters.
that.
Oh, if people haven't seen this, come on, it's
They're
been out
not
for how
going to.
long?
Shit, I've not. I don't care about saying
Um,
it, so I don't mind.
but in part three, like Dio wins, he kills Kakyoin, he kills Joseph, and then Joseph comes back. But then Avdol and Iggy are dead. Like most of the Crusaders are dead. And then against all odds, he's defeated. In part four, Kira gets a super powerful ability, kills every character, and then against all odds, like the kid that is in the family he's keeping hostage, like counteracts him because he's in a time loop, and so he uses that against him to then like bring a person over earlier, so he has to cancel the time loop and he loses. And then in part five, like the um the main antagonist Diavolo pretty much has victory in the palm of his hands, and then
Use the fake guy.
he just he's the fake guy, yeah. And then he loses it, and then he's sentenced to infinite death. And then
That was a
in part
fucked up
six,
death, by the way.
it really was. I don't think he deserved that.
Like he
But then
he
in
was
part
just a guy with a
six,
belief system. Like what the fuck? It was
and
bad,
he did
sure.
sell drugs
Like
to kids, but like he deserved all that. Maybe not. And then in part six, Poochie wins. He resets the universe, but then it doesn't reset how he wins because Emporio like rocks his shit.
okay.
So like they win, but then the protagonists like defeat insurmountable odds, which I like. In Stranger Things, the villain does not win. There's no signs of it.
Stranger Things,
In
the
Stranger
villain's
Things,
fucking stupid.
after his grand plan gets annihilated by 11, he has no there's no like reserve plan. What he does is I don't know if he needs the kids to restore. I think he does to restore the body of the mind flayer, but they're all kidnapped in the body of the mind flayer, hooked up to it, and it springs to life. Possibly the original body, I don't know, but it springs to life, and it's the giant kaiju monster battle, and they're shooting it and whatever and lighting it on fire, and this giant monster does nothing. L Superman jumps
Yeah, she
like
gets
Hulk
warmed.
jumps into its chest. She doesn't even eat her. It goes to eat her and then it raises its head too high. She didn't change her trajectory. The mind flayer is
Oh
just
my
dumb.
god.
It could have eaten her. If it just like held its head where it was, she would have flown into it and died. But it raises its head a bit and then she like tears open its neck and like dives into it.
She at least used her powers
And
to make that happen. That would have been cool, but it just raised its head like a fucking gazelle.
it raised its head and she used her powers to like rip open its throat and like go into it, which is stupid, whatever. Um, but
Did she
throughout the
dismember
season,
shit? I don't remember her being able to do that.
she tries to open like she tries to rip apart the wall in the upside down, which she like can partially do. So I guess she can do that now. I don't know. Um, she basically just has the force, whatever.
She's
But
always
throughout
had
the
that, but
season, we're
like now
told,
it's just fucking
yeah,
mask off.
throughout the season, we're told that Elle is getting weaker,
My ass.
and so in her weakened state, she goes to Vecna in the heart of the Mind Flayer.
She was the weakest at the start of
The
four.
Mind Flayer who's stumbling around and being shot at, and like the inside of it is like there's nothing happening. Um, and she fights Vecna and kills him in like 2 minutes flat. I'm not joking.
I
They use
saw
their psychic abilities
I
against
saw a
each other,
clip like that. Like he
and she
just
just
doesn't
pushes him
do
onto a
anything.
spike. There's the part of the reason she won is that Mike, or not Mike, Will, who I hate, uses his abilities to fight Vecna and like keep him from grabbing Elle. Will's whole power thing is stupid because he gains
First
powers
of all, he's a warlock.
after he's a warlock. He's siphoning his powers off Vecna, which means Vecna should also be able to
He's a warlock
terminate them
with the
whenever he
weakest
wants.
charisma I've ever seen. He does not have
Yeah,
fucking. He can like these.
but he uses his power to use the stupid Vecna kill way where he like breaks their bones and like bleeds their eyes of the Demogorgons.
They don't. Did
Um,
they even fucking ever have bones? I mean, I guess sure, but like I don't
and
know.
they do have a visible rib cage.
I thought it'd be cool if they had like a hydrostatic skeleton. That's just me liking hydrostatic
Yeah,
skeletons.
it'd be cool, but
Because, they're
whatever.
amphibians. Well, I guess amphibians have
Um,
bones too. And
and they were kind of invertebrates when they were first born.
yeah. I wish they kept that. It'd be cool.
It would have been cool.
Fighting an enemy with no
But he
bones.
snaps their bones, whatever. And
I did
it's
see that, yeah.
said that
I
like
thought that was stupid.
it's they mentioned that his powers are stronger in the presence of the Mind Flayer. So he goes to the abyss where the Mind Flayer is,
So,
and
like,
he
the
uses his
Mind Flayer is
powers
a
to.
fucking relay beacon.
When he's close to the hive mind, he's stronger,
I guess
which
that makes
makes him sound
sense.
like a warlock, but
Well,
whatever.
also, it does. I also
Um,
don't like hive mind stories at all. Sorry, Tyrion and
yeah,
Joy.
it's kind of
You're
lame.
bitches. All of you.
But he uses his power a couple times to like take over Vecna's body and like stop him from doing an attack. Um, and during the final
But
battle,
no,
he
he's
he
just a
does this a
spy. He
total of
wouldn't
three
kill him.
times. I know he does this a total of three times, and the final battle is one of them where he just like reaches out his arm and like keeps Vecna from grabbing and strangling L, and then L pushes him onto a spike inside of the Mind Flayer,
Don't you love
and
how
because the
cool
Mind Flayer
them using
and
their
the
powers in the show are, where they just hold an arm out and they scream?
it's so stupid. And then Vecna gets impaled on the spike, and so the Mind Flayer is greatly weakened, and the Mind Flayer collapses. He's not quite dead yet. He's just impaled on a spike, and then Joyce
He's
cuts his head off
just
with an
impaled on a
axe.
spike.
Yeah, there's a scene where she's like, "You should have you messed with the wrong family or whatever," and then we get flashbacks to every character's reasoning for hating Vecna,
That's wait, wait,
as
wait,
if we
wait, wait,
didn't
wait,
watch
wait,
the
wait, wait. Okay,
show.
okay, okay, okay. So I saw it on Twitter. You know those thumbnails? There's like every boss, damageless hard mode. It's like those thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
Did that actually happen? Like it's a fucking
Pretty
Power
much.
Rangers Megazord scene
Yes. Yes.
with that editing with the fucking blue lightning or
No,
or
but
blue
it's
or
pretty
blue or
close.
blue whatever like borders.
Well, kind of, yeah.
That's
But then she cuts his head off, and so he's
this
dead.
might have to be peak
In season two,
peak garbage.
in season two, the plot point is that because Will is connected
They
to the hive mind,
that they can't kill it.
they have
Right.
to disconnect him before they can sever
They
the
have to
connection. Otherwise, it'll
fucking
kill him.
exercise him.
He's in the abyss where the hive mind connection to him is strongest. He's inside the mind flayer, and they just kill it, and nothing happens to him. He's just okay. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Um, and then they all go back home, and they are grabbed by the military. And the military,
And they let them
like,
go. I remember you saying.
yeah, the military like incapacitates all of them. And then 11 appears in the gate to the Upside Down because her plan was to stay in the Upside Down when everything exploded. They put a bunch of dynamite and timed it by the big orb so it would like destroy the whole dimension.
The orb that
And she
we've
stays
seen
back.
regenerates, but sure.
Yeah, we've seen regenerates, but I guess enough explosives kills it permanently. Whatever. She's standing in the gateway, and the military is just staring at her. Everyone's just staring at her. Mike screaming. Actually, does it give a pretty decent performance, but she's standing there, and then the thing explodes and she dies.
First time she
Beforehand,
was directed
they're
in the
pointing.
entirety of Stranger Things, because up until this
I don't
point
know.
she just had big, like, gerbil eyes. No offense to Millie Bobby Brown, but I
Not
kind of don't
her
care
acting
for her
wasn't good.
acting.
She literally just stood there and did nothing. Mike's acting was good.
Oh, never mind. Yeah,
Um,
Finn Wolfhard's always been pretty good.
but they they have like these devices. I don't know how they created them. It's kind of just arbitrarily made in season 5, but the military has access to these sonic guns that they can just point at 11 and anything like her, and they
Oh
can
my
it just
God, like
like disrupts
fucking
her powers.
invincible.
Yeah, it's just that um they never
Si
think to use this on Vecna
Side note,
at all.
everyone keeps saying like it was stupid of Cecil to threaten Mark. He lost Earth's greatest defender because he wouldn't talk to him. Motherfucker, if I was Cecil, I'd be doing that shit all the time. I'm terrified of that
Yeah,
fucker
I
being
would
at
too.
least slightly. I have never liked that. I've also never seen Invincible, but I keep seeing everyone be like, Cecil's stupid. He never talks to Mark. Motherfucker, Mark never wants to talk to anybody and will not listen
Yeah.
to reason even once in his life. With as much strength as he has, with as much rash impulsiveness as he's just been shown, if I was Cecil, I would have never turned that shit off. Fucking
Yeah, I'd be
honestly.
scared of him too. But
Cecil was
then
right.
11,
Cecil's always been right.
he was.
Oh,
He
but he
was.
kept Conquest. Motherfucker, I would keep Conquest too. I would question the shit. Man.
Okay, I would have killed that motherfucker.
Uh,
That motherfucker should have died.
if he doesn't answer me in the first
Like,
five
I get
times,
why
then
he
kill
does it,
him.
but the thing is, like, you had him on death's door with Mark. You should have let him die. You
I would
should not have played with
I
that.
would
That's playing
try
with
to
fire.
question him, but if he doesn't answer within five questions, I'd be like, Mark. I would call Mark and be like, hey, so turns out, Viltrumites actually have like a second brain. You should come here and blow that one up too. He wouldn't.
Yeah,
What's he gonna do? Go to the
stupid,
hospital and check?
stupid.
Oh,
Um. Anyways, she stands in the doorway of the gate, and everything explodes, and she dies. Um. We still have like an hour left of the finale.
that's so shit.
Oh, keep in mind the final battle against the final battle against the Mind Flayer and Vecna combined, the ultimate big bad,
Didn't
had
reach
less
5 minutes.
had less screen time than Will coming out as gay.
I heard. What did someone say? It's like that episode had something along the lines of three several minute long heart to hearts or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Let's preface this by
Not to mention
saying
the
we ain't
ugh.
homophobic, and I know that's a really like shitty covering my
I'm not
bases, but
homophobic,
this guy kisses. I've
but it
seen
was
this guy kiss
unnecessary to the
boys.
plot. I've kissed a man.
I've seen it.
The problem is the reasoning for him coming out to everyone
Was
in
because
this
oh my no no
fucking
I did
room
I
of
can't no no
25
I no no
was
I
because
did see there was a
yeah.
4chan post. It was like if you've seen it, it was like green text is like look Vecna looks at Joyce, your son likes kissing boys. Yeah, we know. Oh shit, you did. Fuck, that was like my Hail Mary. It's like all I had. It was something like that.
No, I know. The reasoning is that
Fucking
he's like,
nuts.
okay, we know that Vecna has a weakness because there's this cave that he's really scared of. I also have a weakness because I'm gay. If I tell everyone, then he can't use that against me. During the fight against Vecna, Will is not anywhere near, and Vecna doesn't even think to use that against him. So it's an arbitrary plot point to give us a coming out scene that doesn't come to fruition at all.
We're baiting since
Which it's literally that,
we're
which I
baiting
don't like
from a
because I'm
passive.
fine with having a gay character. He was very obviously gay, at least in season four. It was undeniable, right? It's pretty obvious before
My
that, but
problem
at
is like
least in season four,
they've been
undeniable.
doing this since like season one on a passing remark because they called
Mm-hmm.
him. I would sort of say it was recording the F slur, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's the 80s. He likes non-traditionally masculine hobbies. They're gonna, call him shit like that. That's what it was always meant to be in season one. And then from there on, whatever.
Yeah,
Sure, he can be gay shit. But one passing line has been this man's characterization. End of story.
I know.
Because what the fuck does he do besides D&D and want to kiss boys? I don't think he ever does.
I don't know. I don't like what he's just. He gets lost in the woods, and that's kind of all he does for the plot.
From fucking, he was important in season one. That's like it. In season
Yeah,
two, he was an active detriment. In season three, he was there.
I
In
don't
in
think he was present. He like wasn't there at all.
no, he was with Lucas and Mike. The plot that didn't
I mean,
matter.
he was physically present, but he just like didn't
In season
do anything.
four, they were he was getting hunted, but that was mostly an 11 thing. So he was also
Yeah,
just the, he looks out in the desert. It's like, fuck, I wish I could tell Mike I love kissing boys or something like that. You know the scene I'm talking about? Yeah, that was
yeah.
like a dumbass scene. And then
But they literally just contrive a plot point to give us a coming out scene. I
that doesn't
assume it was
matter.
for. Okay, to be fair, the actor, I forget his name, Noah
No one
something,
remembers his
Noah
name.
Schnapp or whatever.
I thought that was someone
Um,
else.
no, I think Noah's Will's actor, but whatever, who cares?
Google.com. Who
I
is
think the
Will
actor is
Weathers?
gay, so I think that scene was more for the
That
actor
is
than the
understandable.
character, which I have problems with because that's dumb and stupid. But
It's like you're an actor, you
they
can,
can try.
but like
Yeah,
it's fine, right? But
you already
it's
came out as gay in real life. Like, do you seriously need this? Which sounds wrong, but whatever.
this guy. I've
But
seen this man kiss men, so I mean, like whatever.
yeah, they contrive the stupid point to make the to force the scene out, and then it's never addressed again. And it's like he didn't plan, like Vecna didn't plan to use that against him. So who
It would have
cares?
been really funny if they
Stupid.
actually straight up did the fortune was like your son is gay. Yeah, I know.
I know.
Fuck, that was like my only thing.
It would
That
have been
makes me
it
like
would have
really.
been better.
That would have made that. You know what?
Um,
If they did that, I would have proudly rapped Stranger Things for Till I Die.
yeah,
Sadly, they didn't, so
but
I can never do that.
they kill Vecna
Alpha's off the
in
same level
like
too.
the least climactic way
He
possible,
fucking falls on a
and
spike
then
and gets his
11
head
dies.
moved,
Yeah, and then 11 kills herself.
just like Pete told
And
her to
then
do.
yeah, which she dies earlier for she was brought back for no reason just to get ganked.
She was brought back so that she
But
could tell Eleven to fucking die.
she was brought back so she could tell Eleven to kill herself and then die. That was it. She was the only character that died all season. Um, and
Aside
then
from nameless army grunts, of course.
yeah, and then after 11 kills herself, the military just goes, "Damn, oh well," and lets them go because there's no charges pressed. Like they're not like they should have been killed right then and
Well,
there.
at least as if
Um,
they can't be fucking amnesticized or put under
yeah,
witness or something.
we flash
Hell, the
forward 18
Byers
months.
family was put under witness in season 4.
Do you remember Doc Owens?
Vaguely. What did he do?
He was in
Wait, was
season
he season
two. He
2
kind of
Latin
like
guy?
yeah.
He was cool.
He's never brought back again.
Well,
Like you think he'd be a part of this or like a part of the military that like is investigating the Upside Down, but he doesn't. Whatever. He should have been here. I don't. They brought some random. They brought Sarah Connor's actor in from Terminator, to play the new doctorish lady, but she doesn't really do anything. Oh, right.
at least they're
The
still in
reason
the
the military is
Terminator.
after Al is that we find out that Henry's blood. Henry got his powers by touching a mysterious stone in a cave that connected him to the
Tony
mind
Stark
flayer,
built this in a
and his
cave with a box of scraps. Henry
and
got
his
his
blood
powers
was
in a
infused
cave
into
with a
pregnant
stone.
women so that their
What?
children would have his powers. They
That
tried
is
to siphon
straight up
blood off
not
of
what happened in
number
2.
8. Yeah. They tried to siphon blood off of number 8 into like 30 pregnant women at least. Killed them all. Um,
It's not blood work.
they were just dying from her blood, which doesn't like I don't know how their psychic powers
Or to
work
connect
that
with.
way
Surely it should be like
from blood.
fucking gray matter.
And like we're led to believe it's an MK Ultra thing in season 1, not connected to
I
the
miss
Mind
when it
Flayer,
was
but I guess the
MK
Mind
Ultra
Flayer
thing
is
in
like the
season
only
1.
thing that can give anybody powers ever. Whatever. Um, but apparently Eleven's the only person whose blood will result in more psychic children because she's the most similar to Henry, I guess. Whatever. I don't know what that means.
Because it's won twice. Oh my god, it's fucking
I
genius.
guess so. And that's why the military's after her. They
That's
never get
stupid.
her. Um, we get an 18-month flash forward.
Do they not have oh, hold, sorry, do they not have fucking blood samples on site at Hawkins' lab when she was fucking owned by them?
I guess not, or at least not enough for a blood transfusion for the pregnant woman.
That's stupid.
But we get an 18-month flash forward where everything's like the military's gone, everything's being rebuilt. Um, the kids that are now in high school are graduating,
Thank
and so
God
like
they
Dustin
finally
Lucas
address it.
somehow Max graduates despite being in a coma for 2 years.
Fuck. That's stupid.
Somehow Dustin is valedictorian despite everything that's happened that would probably affect his grades. I don't know how he managed that. Whatever.
This
Um,
guy was salutatorian, by the way, so he wanted to fucking kill the Duffer Brothers when he heard about. Ooh, man, he was raring to go.
I don't know how he got it. Whatever. Um, but there's like whatever. They're leading up to graduation, and they go to
Shit.
graduation, and I think Mike has a scene where he's mourning 11. He's the only person mourning
Who
11.
gives a
18 months
shit?
later,
Fuck Hopper, apparently.
um, Hopper. The Byers are now living with Hopper in his cabin.
They fuck nasty style.
Hopper, they do. Hopper proposed to Joyce. Hopper finds Mike at like the site where 11 killed herself.
And doesn't
Um,
care.
And he tells him, you need to get over it. He says like
First of all,
you might not
I
he says
kind
like
of
you might not be
agree.
able to like yeah, he's like you can't like you don't have to like it, you don't have to like accept you don't have to like agree with it, but you have to accept that it happened, which is fine. Hopper should have been more distraught than he was. This was his like he lost a daughter and
Twice.
he literally jeopardizes the mission so many times just to save 11 to the point where he'll kill himself for it and he goes, "Oh well, she's gone."
Did Mike? I know they were dating in canon. Did they ever really fucking interact?
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. But when Vecna goes into Hopper's mind, he I thought this was going to be
Ooh, your
big.
daughter
Vecna,
died. Ooh.
no, he does do that. Um, he does show he does show him his cancer laden child, but he like shows him visions, whatever, and then he appears in his mind, and Hopper takes out his gun and shoots at Vecna, who isn't really there because he's a mind projection, and
It's a fucking force
we see
ghost right
that
there.
like
Actually,
the
it's the force.
pretty much we see that the bullets got shot into the tank where 11 was sitting, and so we see blood like
You fucking
pouring
shot
out from her
11.
body. He fucking shot 11.
Awesome.
And
And
so
then she
he's like
runs it off, of
he
course.
breaks the glass. He breaks the glass with his gun and then like she comes out of the tank like she washes out with the water.
Wait. Okay.
He
Well,
picks
wait.
her up
Wait.
and he
Hold
sees
on.
there's
Wait.
no
What
bullet
was he? What was
wounds.
he shooting?
Like what gun was she shooting?
Yeah.
A revolver. I don't know what type.
Okay, then maybe. I was about to say, like, how the fuck? Because like tubes
No,
like that are
there were six
reinforced.
bullets in her.
No, I was gonna say, because like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
maybe, because tubes like those are reinforced glass to handle pressurized water.
It was probably acrylic.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
It looked like acrylic. It wasn't glass. But he breaks it and then 11 rushes out and he sees there's no bullet wounds in her body. And she wakes up and she's like, "What did you do?" So Vecna showed him a vision of his child dying, and then showed him a vision of him shooting his adopted child, which jeopardized the mission, but then didn't really. Which is fucked. And he was like about to kill himself from that.
You should
And
not
then he's
be
just like,
like,
"Yeah, she's gone
dude, get
now."
over it, dude. It's just your fucking girlfriend, man. He like kicks him a
No,
little
I
bit.
know. Like the way Mike was screaming in that finale, bro, he was probably on the verge of suicide for months.
I heard
Um,
the
but then
season
he
ends
goes to
with
graduation.
D&D.
It does.
Who's the
He
DM?
goes to graduation. It's still Mike.
Oh, fuck Mike, he was a shitty DM.
They go to graduation. Dustin, as the valedictorian, gives his speech, and he does what Eddie said that Eddie was gonna do, and he goes all like nonconformist and like talks about like the
Oh,
system.
fucking so
It's kind
lame.
of cringe.
Kind of just
And then he rips off his gown
fucking Hellfire Club or
to
something.
yes to reveal a Hellfire Lives T-shirt, and the town that was hunting down Eddie, the town that days ago, if
Right, because
that,
canonically,
was beating the shit out of Dustin for wearing that T-shirt, starts cheering for him, which doesn't make any sense. Like the bully in the crowd starts cheering for him, the one that beat his shit in a couple
the
days
town
ago.
that was military occupied.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why everyone was like, "Oh my god, yes, D&D and Eddie Munson and Hellfire being mentioned at our
Eddie
class
Munson is
graduation. That's great."
canonically like a fucking coke dealer or whatever the fuck he sold that
He sold weed,
teenager.
yeah. Um, everyone like was like, "Oh my god, wow, great speech." And
That's
then
not lame as fuck.
immediately after, a popular girl from the school who I don't
Ugh.
really remember, I guess she was in the earlier season, is like, "Hey, that was pretty cool. Do you want to like come to this party later?" And Dustin says some like stupid fucking cringe
I'm
thing. He's like,
already
"We're
in a
not say
party,
that."
D&D party or
Um,
something.
I guess he broke up with his girlfriend off screen because she's not mentioned.
She was a
Um,
fucking perfect fit for that man.
yeah, whatever. She's not mentioned. Um, and then they're all like, "Wow, we should totally go to this party." And then Mike's like, "Guys, I have a better idea." And so they go sit in their basement like losers
Let's
playing D&D.
finish our D&D game that's been on
Uh-huh.
hold because the world was ending. I would just make it
And
fucking
I
like
I think it was a one shot. I guess they play
What
it,
a
whatever.
graduation gift. Hey, we graduated. Let's play. Let's have a
No, I know.
commission. Let's have a fucking commitment for a little bit. You know,
It's dumb.
it is.
They play D&D, whatever. It's fine. Mike has this like closure thing where he like says like cute little fantasies about how everyone's lives are going to continue from this point on. Um,
Yeah,
and
I've seen
he
Stranger Things. Please tell me someone says that.
he starts like he's like, oh yeah, like Lucas and what the knight and this whatever I forget what class Max plays, but like
Lucas was a
these
fucking
characters go
ranger.
and
Like
live a
that was
happy
pretty much
life.
from the start.
He's called a knight in this,
That's
whatever.
stupid. He's always been the ranger.
Will the Wise goes on to find love in a gay bar. I
Fucking
don't know that he
Chicago.
can drink. He's drinking in a bar. He looks the same age. I guess this is years in the future because he just graduated high school, but whatever.
And like this is
Um, Dustin goes to college,
to get
and
more
then Mike becomes
knowledge.
a writer. He's gonna be so dog
He
ass.
did not have the
Um,
chops for it.
but then they have a character in the campaign that's like obviously 11, a sorcerer or whatever, and he starts talking about her, and he has this like crazy theory, right?
Shouldn't be, by the way, shouldn't be a
He's
sorcerer again. Came out 2000. Uh,
Yeah, he says this is his theory for what happened. He says that Elle didn't really die. I don't. He couldn't have known these details, but during graduation, the speakers were kind of going a little weird because like the microphone was acting up,
I'm sure it was
which made him
11.
think back to the sound, like the sound cannons, right?
Mhm.
And he was like, okay, if the sound cannons were active, how did 11 force project herself into my mind before she died? Which is what she does in the show. She
That's.
like projects herself into his mind to be like, you can't save me or whatever.
I'm gonna traumatize you. Ooh.
Um, Keep in mind when she was in the gate, the the things weren't pointed at her,
Oh,
so
phenomenal.
presumably it wouldn't have had an effect. Or you could say she's just really overexerting herself for her final act. Whatever. Instead, Mike says 11 was hidden by Collie, number 8, and ran to the underground tunnels to run away and like start a life in some random bumfuck nowhere town in the mountains by two
And of
waterfalls.
course, she never told you.
And
Because fuck you.
somehow during this, right? During this, 11 sends her psionic signal. She projects herself into Mike's brain. But the things like she's clearly in pain when she's running in his theory, and the sound cannons are pointed at her, so she probably shouldn't be able to do that. And he's like, wow. And he's like, the 11 we saw in the gate that magically appeared there was actually an illusion projected by Kali, despite the fact that she was probably dead by now after bleeding out with no medical care.
Or even
And
water.
it's established earlier in the season that her powers have a range. They were definitely outside of the range.
This plot point is so bad, it makes me need to go read this again. Alright, I'm gonna
And then
pause.
she dies.
And then
And
she fucking
in my head,
dies.
11 died because there's no way that Kali survived that. But
My
whatever.
head 11 dies, so the
And we're left on
series
an
can be
ambiguous
over.
note as to whether 11 survived or not.
I'm gonna pause, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about like generally what we and other things we don't like about the show as a whole.
Okay.
Pause,
Okay.
unpause. Well, I got up. I remembered that my fucking rings are in my pocket. I almost fell out. Uh, Man, that plot sucked. You know what else sucks? I was thinking about it because I was like, what the fuck did I tell him to remind me about? I remembered. Stephen Harrington. This is not going to be me bashing Stephen Harrington for the most part, because I do believe Stephen Harrington is probably the best written character in the show.
Oh, hands
Uh,
down.
well, I mean, Dustin has some contention, but I don't know. He's also like a whiny bitch, and was also friends with Eddie the Freak Munson, who sucks.
I didn't like his weird depressive episode in season 5.
I didn't
It was
watch that,
weird.
so I didn't know he had that. Uh, Stephen the Hare Harrington, hands down the best character in the show. If you ignore season 3, 4, and 5, had the best arc in season 3, 4, in season 1 and
Honestly,
2.
he has the best overall arc between seasons. His ending, all the like adult teenager
He does, but it's
characters,
choppy, and I'll get into that, but you can finish.
yeah. They kind of like they get together for on like the roof of the radio station. They talk about their future plans. Steve becomes a baseball coach and a sex ed teacher, Um,
Fits.
so he kind of keeps fulfilling the role of like a guiding tutor like figure
Guiding
towards
hand.
kids. He's also the notably he's the only character from the original cast that's like every single character, even the adults, leave Hawkins except him. So it's kind of they don't explicitly say this, but I saw a post headcaning it and I thought it was kind of cool. Is like he's subconsciously staying there because if something happens again,
Like
he
a
wants to be the
protector
first to
figure?
be there,
That's pretty good.
which
I
which I
also like
like.
this headcanon. I will accept this
I
as
like.
real canon.
It's not established that that is the reason, but I like that. He has a cool full arc. Everyone else is whatever.
This is not canon. But like I said with I think it's choppy. It's because well no, he was actually good in season 3 too. It's just I don't like season 3. It's why like in season 1,
Yeah,
2 and 3 he had a great arc. And then season 4 happened. I remember being very upset when they did this. In the scene where they're investigating the house that Victor was in, do you remember?
yeah,
They split off and they split off in pairs, and they have their established pairs. It is Nancy and Robin. It is Max and was Lucas there? I don't know. Max and someone else. And then Dustin and Stephen the Hare Harrington. And he audibly sighs. And Dustin is visibly disappointed at this. And then, like more stuff happens. He's like, I'm always the babysitter. I refuse to accept this is the same man who in season 2 said, I'm the babysitter. I don't think he said bitch, but
I know.
I now accept that he said, I'm the babysitter, bitch. Uh, because that was
This is
his
the same man who
whole
wants six
fucking.
kids, by the way.
This, I know, it's like he has always been characterized as. Because from the start, he's been open that, like, his parents do not love him. His dad
Oh
is
yeah.
absent and his mother is too. He is left. He has never been an asshole, even if the show wants you to believe he is. The biggest asshole moment he had was not saying shit about his two friends spray painting Nancy the Slut Wheeler
Hmm.
on the movie thing, but then he goes back and fixes that anyway. Another scene people will point to of him being an asshole is him breaking Jonathan's camera. I
That was
say
deserved.
people have accepted that now, but the biggest reason was like Nancy was obviously like I don't want you escalating the conflict, which
Hmm.
you should have listened to Nancy, but also like breaking. I don't think he was in the wrong for breaking the camera either,
But also,
because
like,
like
Jonathan had
Jonathan was
pictures of your
fucking
naked girlfriend. What
weird.
the fuck?
Like Jonathan was not okay with that shit. But
Yeah.
like he never put down Barb, by the way.
Hmm.
He was concerned, right? He did help Nancy study. He came back to fight the fucking Demogorgon. Nobody told him to do that at all. And by the way,
Hmm.
he flipped the fucking bat in the middle of the fight. So by that point, I was already like, this guy's fucking awesome. He flipped the bat in the middle of the fight. That's cool. Like if you go back and see, he hits it with like I think it's two body shots, a shove, flips the bat, then hits it in the head. It's not
Yeah.
a long fight, but he does fucking square up for no reason. Dustin, would you never want to fight, dude? My ass, dude. He fucking fought the Demogorgon
Yeah.
and then
He
kept the
hit that thing
bat
with a
like a
fucking
trophy.
baseball bat. You kidding me?
He
I
kept
know.
the bat like a
I was a
trophy.
little upset in season
They didn't bring
five
it
when
back.
they're gearing up for the big fight. They don't bring the bat. They don't bring the bat back. Instead, he uses the stupid spear and shield that Eddie had.
They should have brought the bat back. That was you
The
can't have
bat should
Steve
have
the
made
Hare
a
Harrington without the
return.
bat. You
I
should have
know.
hit a demo bat with that. And made a shitty joke about it, and everyone should have audibly sighed. That would have been awesome.
Well, if only there was a demo bat to hit.
But like, and like you said he wanted a large family with kids because
Yeah.
it's been clear since the start like his family does not give a shit about him and he seeks popularity as like a band-aid fix. And then that's why he was like he covered it up pretty well, but every person watching the show and every adult in the show, that's why they left him with him because he was trustworthy and obviously liked doing it, protecting the kids. He genuinely did see himself as their coach and protector, which leads into his season 5 or from what you say. But like he also, I never gave a shit about the what the fuck was the racist's name? the brother.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't, but
I
he
thought
but he had his arc in
I liked his
season 3.
death.
I
It
liked
was
that
a
he died.
compelling death.
I
I
liked
like
that he
that.
died.
I mean, him like resisting the mind flayer
That
to like stand
was
up to it to
cool.
protect his sister. It was cool,
But from the
but
start, he was never.
yeah,
He did not seem to give a shit about it. In fact, he seemed to resent her because what are they? Half siblings or step siblings, something like that. And he was like, "You took
I
my.
think they were half siblings. Yeah,
I have half siblings too. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit about them. I'm like, I'm not hostile. They're my siblings. I treat them as my own." He was clearly antagonistic to Max because he saw her as like the reason his parents split up or some shit like that, right? I don't think he deserved a redemption, but I don't think it was a bad one either. I still don't like him. Even after his death, I didn't give a shit about that man. Regardless, I recognize that he was fucking huge. And Steve didn't give a fuck. He walked in and was like, hey, fuck you. Just decked him for no reason. He was boxing. Okay, well, he wasn't boxing, but he was like fucking working him over. But one single plate smash to the head completely shut that down. First of all, should not have. It was obviously like the Max is gonna stand up for herself scene. Cool. Um, I honestly kind of would have preferred if she saw that adults in her life can actually care for her, and Steve would have been like a good segue into that. I think that
yeah.
would have also been a cute scene, but I understand like, oh yeah, she's standing up for herself. That's fine. But the point here is that like from the start, Steve didn't want shit with this guy. He never wanted to start a fight with this guy. The second any of I'm gonna say it straight up, his kids, those adults do not deserve the title of being the those are his fucking kids from the start. From the moment his kids were in danger, he squares up with probably the biggest man on screen at that time. Uh, and almost wins. That's an important part. And the second they're in danger, he puts on that really actually pretty good tunnel suit and fucking heads the charge and it's like you can, if I remember correctly, you can look on screen and see he's always looking back for the rest of the kids, and then forms a genuine, really sweet friendship with it's trite, it's overplayed, but like it was really cute in season 3, their friendship. And I'm explaining all of this to show he has always been a fucking paladin practically. No, he is. He has the strength and charisma to back it up. Maybe not the constitution, but he can work on that. And then season 4 happens. And suddenly he doesn't like that anymore. Sorry, the same man who fought an armed Russian soldier for Dustin? Sure, it was also for himself too, but let's not fucking forget that he did that shit for getting those kids out. Fine. Let's not forget that he, on a single request from Dustin after hearing it ate his cat, was willing to jump into the cellar where they
Yeah.
thought Dart was. That was willing to go to a fucking junkyard with them, armor up a bus, and defend them at like fucking 10 to 11 p.m. on a school night, that he made sure they all sat their ass down, make sure they sat their white ass down and listened in the buyer's house to protect them. I reiterate, fought a Russian fucking guard season 3 with a fucking lamp or whatever. But you tell me in season 4 he's
While
sick
in the
of,
Russian base too.
and you're telling me in season 4 he's sick of being the babysitter. I did not like that he jumped in on the boat to go into the portal because the same man who in season 2 stayed behind to take care of the kids is no longer staying behind to take care of the kids who are actively being hunted, but instead jumps into the Upside Down. Why did neither Steve or Eddie stay with the kids? If you want to show Eddie as actually caring for these kids and being their friend, he could have stayed and did a good job doing that as a scene. Or Steve could have just fucking done it because he's been shown to do this from basically the start.
Mhm.
But no, they ruined that characterization. And this goes beyond just the really well made, really well done Steve and Dustin friendship, which I adored because in season 3 they had a really fucking lame handshake. which not only quickly established that they are friends, but also quickly established that Steve no longer gives a shit about being seen as popular because he is referencing Star Wars in the 80s. That is not a cool thing to do. Arguably, it's
That
not
is
cool
true.
now, but it was way worse back then. And you're to tell me he doesn't want to do this with a man who he has a secret fucking handshake with a guy who he it's at least implied lets Dustin hang out with him on the weekends at work like fucking the entire day. Because remember the scene where he jumps over the counter and is like, "What are you doing? I'm establishing my base
Yeah,
of operations." Robin's like, "Maybe if it was the weekend, you guys could play here again, but it's fucking Friday. It's our busiest day of the week, or whatever she said exactly. I forget."
yeah.
But like this kind of implies they've done this before. That he's just fucked around in the store with Steve. But no, we have to have melodrama. But no, Joyce Byers has to stop caring about her sons to go fuck Hopper. But no, Nancy can never have a single fucking coherent conversation with any of her romantic partners. Even one time. She couldn't do it with Steve in season two, where she was drunk and was like, "Fuck you, Steve." To the guy who was like, "Nancy, you're mad about something. Please tell me. Nancy, you're drinking too much. Come on, we're at a public
Hmm.
party. It's dangerous. Oh, come on, you got her. Let me take you in the bathroom, like, and check it out." He was. I mean, I guess you could say he was overbearing, but like, I think he had reason to be. Like, she was off the fucking rocker. Not to like victim blame or anything, but like I think he was justified, right? Like but like me showing that she can never fucking talk to anyone. It's worse in season three. She got the man fucking. She got Jonathan fucking fired from his dream job.
Yeah, yeah. Season three was a mess
And
with them.
and that shit fucking ruined him for season four. Like he was miserable in that season. At least
Yeah,
there's cohesion, but like the point is like that was bad. Fucking Max has no plot relevance past two. Fucking 11 has never had any characterization beyond big wet doe eyes. Hopper was
it
a
did
sheriff.
upset me a bit that
Hopper was
Max.
the fucking sheriff. When is that ever
Oh,
coming
he's a
back?
sheriff again.
Yeah, but
He's a
like
sheriff at the end
that's
too.
fucking he doesn't
After the
do
whole town thinks
sheriff
he's dead
shit.
for like 2 years.
It's so fucking stupid. Will and Eleven, like you were just saying, like they have the same characterization. They just have big, wet, fucking animal eyes that look sad and all the time and scream.
I definitely didn't like that in season four. Max gets all her bones, all her like limbs broken,
And
and
survives.
I'm accepting that in the hospital that will mend over however many years she was there for, because bones can heal. That they're good at that. But her eyes basically ruptured and were bleeding. She should be at least partially blind. Like,
Or at least
but
take
then she
glasses
wakes
or
up and it's like,
something.
no, your eyes are still adjusting because you haven't used them that often. Bro, so for real.
But like nobody has had stable character. I was about to say since season two. No, since season one, dude. Since season one ended, nobody has had stable characterization. With
Yeah.
11, it was made sense. She was mysterious. She came from a fucking lab. She's weird. With Will, it was unfortunate that he was just a plot device for the season, and that continued on. But two, relationships break down with no actual sense behind it. With three, it gets worse. With four, it was even fucking worse. Again, Joyce Byers triapses across the fucking globe, leaving behind her two sons to adjust poorly to a new situation that's incredibly stressful for the both of them, with a man she barely knows. She shared one night with that guy, Murray, while she was being like hunted down by a Russian fucking Terminator.
I forgot about Marie.
Like for fucking like for fuck's sake, none of these characters. I mean this with complete honesty. From season three onwards, including season three onwards, if you were to take each like group storyline and lay it out on a piece of paper and change the names, right? Not like with each other. I mean, like just change the names completely, and then show it to
Hmm.
someone, they would straight up think that they were completely different scenes from completely different pieces of media because they do not talk to each other.
Yeah.
They do not share information. Fuck, they don't even go towards the same goal half the time.
It did really upset me that in season five, when Dustin's group with him, I think Robin. No, it's him, Steve. Nancy and Jonathan. They go to the Upside Down. They know that Hopper and Eleven are already in there, and they contact them via walkie-talkie, and they say, "Hey, this is our location. Like, here's where we are." While they're in that location, Justin does his geometry thing to go. He discovers that the lab's the center of the wall, so they go there. They don't leave a note. Justin had paper. That's
Oh,
what he drew the circle and stuff on.
wonderful.
He could have just said, "Hey guys, if you made it here, we're going to the lab." That's
You
all
can
he had to
find it
write.
by doing this. It would if you even wanted them to stay separate, you could have just over assumed what people know and said, if you want to find us, do this equation, and we'll be here, right? And you could have a humorous
He's like,
moment
"Hey,
where
I
Hope
did
be
the
like,
math."
what the fuck is this? I don't get this.
Yeah,
And
he
Eleven's
could
be like,
have.
I don't know, because that's how she always
But
talks, and
even
that's what she
he
always
could have
says.
just been like, "We're going to the lab." That's it. Like it
Like
didn't
even
need
if
to
you
be
wanted
like
them to stay
that.
separate, there were ways to do that.
Hmm.
It's like sure it's
Dumb.
lampshading, but honestly, this plot as a whole needed a fucking rewrite.
It did.
But like it pisses me off so much because season one established the two groups and people liked the interconnected storytelling, but like they felt like they talked to each other because they did. They felt like they were friends because they were. They communicated clearly. They had genuine reasons why they couldn't talk to one another because of a fucking runaway and because we don't want the kids involved with hearing your friend is fucking dead. Right?
Yeah.
That was logical. And that made sense. With two, sure, they were stuck in the lab. I guess you can say they're unreachable. Fair, even though they're all shown to know, but whatever. But then the like Eleven just fucked off that season. Why like Topper couldn't tell anyone? Anyone? Like anything? And again, the absolute worst in season three, where they keep lampshading like where Dustin's constantly trying to be like, come in, anyone. You fucking we're stuck in a goddamn site. I need help right now. But no one came, right? It's just
Yeah.
so frustrating because admittedly I've liked these characters. I've stopped liking them since, unless your name is Dustin or Steve Harrington. But like, you have established relationships with one another. This is not a new property, right? This is not something where you have to
Yeah.
explain to me that these characters are meeting one another, not only in lore, but in real life as well. We've seen these guys in several seasons. They don't give a fuck about each other. I said it as a joke, but I genuinely mean it. They fucked with Dustin when he came back, and then fucked off. You did not see him for the entire summer. You're not gonna want to hang around
It's
the guy.
true. Yeah.
Like
It is weird.
they contrive reasons to make them separate, but they don't give a fuck about making the reasons sensible. And then that like goes on into the plot line. Like Vecna has no fucking point. He has no goal aside from ostensibly destruction. But why does he want that? We know that he was a person. We've seen him in the labs as one or Henry, or whatever the fuck his name was, and we have the notes on him that say nothing about him, despite his powers being mental, or they should have been anyway. We know nothing about the hive mind. Sure, we don't need to, but we know nothing about the hive mind. What the fuck did the mind flayer want? Did it just want to go to Earth and spread its corruption there? What does that mean for anything? And
It's weird
normally I'd be like,
because
sure, you don't need to explain that. But there would throughout the entire plot of the fucking show, there were labs dedicated to studying it, but they find nothing. And it's not even like
it
a
is
oh, it's a
weird.
mindless beast. They just find nothing.
Yeah, like it does have a clear motive, at least in season three, when it becomes able to like fully speak, not through will. It speaks through Billy and it says like we for some reason it hates Elle. It's like we did all this for you because we're gonna kill you, and then we're gonna kill everyone you love, and then we're gonna kill everyone on Earth. And it's just like, okay, it's just evil. But then it changes from just killing everybody on Earth, which it could easily do with Vecna, to being actually we have to collide both of our planets for some reason.
For genuinely no, because that is it spits in the face of season two, where it was obviously corrupting the world.
Yeah.
Spits in the face of the Gate of Three, where it could just burst in through the wormhole. It like
Yeah, it's dumb.
it's not even like where they set up plot points and then trip over them later. It's like they set up plot points and then go to set up the next one and then forget they put one down, right? It's like it's one thing to get caught up in your own backlog of lore like Scott Cawthon has, right? And then rush to fix
Hmm.
it. It's another when you just forget you put down it at all.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with Stranger Things is they establish something and then
This is this is
they either
a
forget
scale
about it.
that is like world ending, but they won't
Yeah,
fucking leave Hawkins unless it's Russia for some reason.
unless it's Russia. It is weird that the Upside Down only exists through Hawkins. I don't like. I guess it's because Elle made contact in Hawkins, and it's centered around where she made contact. But
Like I told this guy in DMs, like
eh,
11 was raised in a fucking. She doesn't even know where she is.
yeah,
She has no context for Hawkins. In season one, it's the first time she's been out. Like for what it should be, honestly, it should look like a fucking Resident Evil map of like fucking like a or not even like a. It should look like fucking Call of Duty World at War Verrückt, dude. Like it should look like a
yeah,
mental ward, because that's all she knew when she contacted the Demogorgon. Stupid plot point, by the way, because we keep pushing back and pushing back and pushing back and pushing back the scale of the threat. But honestly, I've never felt more threatened than I had felt in season one. Everything felt so
yeah.
fucking grounded. And this is a complaint I always have with world-ending threats, unless, like, even for some superhero stuff, because, like, my complaint about this with Batman, because, like, Batman should not be doing half the shit he's doing in the comics. Like,
You really shouldn't.
Absolute's pushing it, but, like, there's the meta knowledge of, like, the Absolute universes. The whole point is to be extreme. Like, okay, that's fair, I guess. But, like, Batman's a fucking dude. Right, and that's the joke is like, oh yeah, he with prep time, whatever. First of all, that's bullshit. You misunderstood the point of those comics. Oh, he has contingency plans. You misunderstood the point of that comic, which was to show that this is a bad thing, whatever. But like, my point is like, I don't care when Batman is saving the world because
Yeah,
that's beyond his scope. It's stupid, and I don't understand the stakes. I care when he's trying to
I
solve
agree
like a
fully.
serial kidnapper.
Yeah, I think that's when Batman shines.
That's even when Superman shines to like flex the country boy charm, to flex the down-to-earth, personable nature he has. Sure, I can cheer when he's fighting fucking Darkseid and shit, but honestly, it's better when he's just talking to someone who's suicidal, sitting down with them and showing he's a person too. But and obviously that's like completely separate from what I'm talking about with Stranger Things. But like I said earlier, I reiterate, I have never felt more threatened than I did in season one. Every scene with Will in the Upside Down felt actually tense and upsetting because of the way it was shot, because of the way he was clearly panicking, because of the way the Demogorgon was completely fucking unknown, that we've never seen it die. But they just kept pushing back. Season 2 was fine-ish, right? Instead of being locked to this one segment, now it's all of Hawkins. Sure, it's a small town, that's acceptable. Season 3, I said it was the best narrative point, but you were right, it was the worst plot point. Like the Russian stuff was fucking
Yeah,
stupid. The body snatcher
yeah.
stuff didn't make sense. How could that exist and then get swept under the rug? People have been fucking gooped. They are dead. And this doesn't come back? That's why I think
My
it would have
problem
been
is
perfect to
that
end there.
the Mind Flayer has the ability to do that, right? And then the second, like, we open the a giant gate underneath Hawkins to the Upside Down, the Mind Flayer doesn't think to just like send a bunch of its like particles and like infect people and just kill them. It could just do that.
It could literally just do that. And then season 4, Vecna's here, someone we have no build up for someone who does something, who then seems to win, but then doesn't. And it's just like, we keep ramping up, but my interest
Yeah,
doesn't. My in
it's weird. Like they keep ramping up to apocalyptic stakes and then just resetting the status quo at the beginning of the next season.
which is why I am really actually, if I cared more about Stranger Things the way I cared more about hating other properties, I would make a fan fiction where it's basically an anthology where I take the ideas I like about the Upside Down, basically ignore everything from 3 onwards, and set it in like fucking Michigan or something, and have it be more Arctic or something that effect, or fucking even go like swamp location
Yeah,
because I fucking love swamps. If I cared more, I would
love
do
the
that in
swamp.
fan fiction. I would check later, but I know people don't write that right because like if you wanted me to stay invested, you should have. And I'm just like, oh man, how could they not cater to me? But honestly, like, look me in the eyes and tell me an anthology would not have been cooler, right?
It would have
Because
been
then we get
artistically better.
to see more about we get to see more of the Upside Down in a way that makes sense, like actually like distance, like how it adapts to other locations, how it affects different people. We would be free from the plot device that is 11, who I have never really been a big fan of. We would get a break from having to. It feels like they wanted to have different characters because they just don't act the same from season to season. Oh, but they got older.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they should have matured too,
still the
right?
same person. Like,
Yeah, it's like they were clearly tired of Hawkins. That's why they keep focusing more on the Upside Down. If you were tired of Hawkins, dude, just fucking say it. Season 3 should have ended there. Boom, go somewhere else. Go to
exactly.
Russia at that point. It's like 80s,
That
yeah, Cold
that
War. Like
would have been a
fucking,
more
just
interesting
why
plot.
not? And then they did anyway, but not in a satisfying way because it was still about fucking Hopper, a guy who I only kind of cared about in 2. And I didn't care about him in 3. And it's upsetting too because this is like the Netflix show. This is like the thing Netflix reps. But I
It's the most popular Netflix show ever.
is it? I would believe you if you said so right
I'm
now.
pretty sure.
I want more Netflix originals. I will say this because, like I said, season 1 was genuinely really good. I think it still holds up. Maybe not as well, but it's there's something you can come back to. Fuck, just rewatch it for Steve's bat flip at that point. Like, that was good. And that sounds jokey, but like really, like I said, how I if I cared more, I would. Can someone out there write this? Because that's really cool. Of like parts of the Upside Down, but somewhere else that isn't. Where is Hawkins like fucking Pennsylvania or something? I don't remember where it's set.
Indiana, I think.
Oh, that makes sense why I don't care about it. What the fuck happens there? Is India Midwest or is that Mid East?
I think Midwest.
Hmm.
Not 100% sure.
Hell, there were even cool locations in Hawkins. The quarry doesn't get brought up at all. Would have been cool to see something happen in the quarry.
No, it's Mideast.
Okay. But like, remember in season 1 where like, oh, we found your son's body in the quarry, and she's like, no, no, the fuck you did. Like, that would have been cool if we saw anything fucking happen there. Because that's a
It would
sick
have been.
location. It's like, but no, they forget the last season happened. But no, they forget they established this. Unless it's melodrama. But the melodrama isn't interesting. It's not interesting
Yeah, it's really
because the
not.
groups are split up. Because the groups are split up, we have to focus on each person in every episode, or each group in every, or maybe not
Hmm.
in every episode, every 2 episodes, we have to go between group to group to group. So we don't let it, so now we're letting the melodrama breathe. Melodrama does not benefit from breathing. You want that to be tense all the time. You want to have, like focus on that. But no, we're splitting away from the relationship troubles, and now we're moving into it's not cosmic horror, but it sure as shit isn't like contemporary horror. I guess it's like no, it's not even eldritch. We move into supernatural horror while they're complaining that they don't talk to their girlfriends enough. And then we move into fucking action spy thriller with the Russians. Like you see what I'm like
Yeah,
it wants to do so much that would have been better if you just did the fucking anthology. If you just did the fucking anthology, you could have done all you wanted. But no, Netflix is your money, and Netflix says to do this, so you have to. And I don't blame the Duffer Brothers for like being like, "Oh, we're not gonna say no to Netflix." Damn, like that's fine, right? That makes sense. But like,
yeah. But they should have, I don't know. If they ended at season 3, I would have been happy.
I still
Season
say
4
that
shat the bed, and season
season
5
four
just
was season 4 was not good, and season 5 was. It feels like season 5 feels like a parody of something that doesn't exist.
it really does.
I know I say that for a lot of
You
media, but it
know it's
feels like a
bad
parody.
because I was scrolling through social media after Volume 2 dropped. I didn't get a single spoiler, but everyone was like, people were crafting these theories about the show being like intentionally bad or it missing a lot of content that they cut. And their theory was that like Vecna's messing with the audience's mind because,
That's stupid.
to be
If
fair,
you want to do that, that's like you do it like how the thing did it.
yeah, it is stupid because in in one scene we see that Vecna tampers with people's memories, and so he changes the color of an object in Holly's memory, and that's how they like figure out where to go. And then from one episode to another, the color of a like an object changes in the world without any of the characters noticing. So people were like, "Wow, like oh my god, Vecna's like messing with reality or messing with like these are just memories he's messing with,"
It feels like
and so
just
this
a
is gonna go
like
somewhere.
Easter egg to draw attention.
And it was just like they just couldn't get the same prop back, so they just got a different one.
That probably also is it. It's fucking. I was also gonna say like I've seen media with this guy, right? Like I've sat down on a friend's couch on his couch and just like looked at something on the TV before, or like at the table and shit. Like if we're playing a board game, this guy doesn't really scroll on his phone unless I send him something stupid and tell him to look at it. If we're watching analog horror on my friend's couch, he kind of just sits there and watches even during boring parts. He doesn't really pull out his phone while he's watching something else.
That's the part that pisses me off because fucking Netflix orients their shows to be for the people that like scroll on their phone while watching.
Yeah. Like didn't you say like a few times you if I remember correctly, like a few times you were like catching yourself reaching for your phone because it was so or just skipping through parts because it was just like this is nothing, this is filler.
Um, there were a couple of scenes I reached for my phone to like I think I was texting you or something, but I was still like watching the show. That was my primary focus.
Yeah. But like yeah,
Like
no,
it was maybe like
these
two
shows are
times
not built
total
to
that
be
season.
watched. If we they learned the wrong lessons from the Skinamarink, not this season specifically, I just mean like filmmakers in general, learned the wrong lessons from Skinamarink.
Netflix also has a thing where they like they're oriented towards mobile viewers too, because most people that watch Netflix watch it on their phones. So
I just
that's why
don't
the
watch it
color
on
grading on so
the
many things is shit.
I watch it on the TV or I watch it on my computer. I actually don't
Yeah.
watch Netflix, but you
It's
know. My family watches it on the TV. They don't watch it on their phones.
every single platform like locks me out of using my family's accounts. I just don't watch anything.
Yeah.
I just
I
watch
don't I
YouTube. I
only
don't
watch
care.
YouTube. I straight up only like look for horror projects on YouTube. I want to
Yeah.
make a horror project. I don't know if I'll put it on YouTube, but
That'd be pretty sick.
I want to just put it. Should I talk about it here? I've thought about this for like fucking 3 years or some shit like that now. It's like it's, not to sound like the shitty like tortured artiste type, but it's oh wow, indie horror or aspiring indie horror creator wants to do something about the effects of depression. No, no, but I want to do something about like depression. But the idea was about like isolationism and how when you isolate yourself because you believe that like okay, so a little bit of context, right? Like I love Marble Hornets. I love the found footage genre, even though a lot of found footage is not good. I like the found footage genre.
Yeah.
The idea would have been, or like the fake plot to hook you into the real plot. And I say, whatever, is that like the main character was worried about like sounds and rustles they heard in the middle of the night, so they put up cameras around their house set to auto record to motion, right? And that's the catalyst for us like looking through and seeing everything. And then it would become apparent pretty soon in I don't know if it would be like a short film or like a series, that this person is like not doing okay mentally, right? Like they would
Mm,
go to bed and wake up at odd times. They would like slowly you would see their routine just like fall apart. They would make breakfast, right? In the beginning, like they would
yeah.
eat their meals and then slowly they would like make them and then just like eat half of it and then eventually just stop cooking altogether. You'd see more takeout and shit like that, right? And
Mm,
they and you this would be the only character, fucking period. There would be no one else ever. And it'd be more and more obvious. They would leave their house less, right? Lights would just stay off for like hours at a time. They wouldn't make their bed. They wouldn't do they would just fall apart practically. It would be more apparent over time that like they were not doing okay, et cetera, et cetera. And aside from like the static cameras around the house showing them, there would also be scenes
Mhm.
of them with a handheld camera because they would be getting increasingly paranoid once nothing shows up on the cameras. And when they're moving around the camera, you would see. I want it to be a vulture because I
Mhm.
think crows are too overdone as the animal of death. They're just carrion eaters, but they
Oh,
also
100%.
eat seeds and fruits and stuff like that. Vultures only eat corpses. That's why I think vultures are the better animal of death. And I want it to be like a humanoid vulture looking freak thing, right? And you would only see it when they're holding the camera. Because in my head, it's like you can never see what someone's going through from the outside. Well, I guess, whatever. You can't properly see what someone's going through if you're just like looking in on them. So they would only show up when like the handheld, because I think that's like a cool medium and gives
Yeah.
like benefit to like having two sorts of whatever. And whenever they're doing really fucking badly, you would see like feathers or something move on like the static cameras. But if like some if but like for the horror parts, they would be holding the camera, they see the bird and get freaked out or get attacked or some shit.
Mhm.
But I don't want it to be predictable. And I don't mean in terms of scares. I mean like sometimes the bird will just act differently. Sometimes it'll straight up fucking
That'd be
attack
cool.
the main character. Other times it's just like stalking or waiting or just there and they don't even notice, right?
Yeah.
And it would a lot of this, etc. You would see weird scenes of them like typing something out and then like sighing to themselves and then just ending up deleting it and just sitting there for a little while and you would feathers would pass by on the camera or some shit like that. I mean, it
Oh,
would
that'd be pretty sick.
still work because like motion's there. You would see them like flip like drunkenly at night go through their house and just like flip pictures over. One scene I thought would be really cool is if like they're going through it's like also for shock value. I just thought it'd be cool. They're doing their
Yeah.
like morning routine, right? They like brush their teeth or whatever. Stop for a second, kind of like look confusingly at the mirror, and then fucking slam their head into the glass and crack it. And it would be played straight, like they freak out and fucking clutch their face and like run out of the bathroom and shit. And it was like fucking why not? Like why not go all out? I
Bro
know
just wants to have a freak on camera.
I do. I know how it would end too. It would end in the hands. It would obviously like the ending shots would be like the handheld cameras. They would be attacked by the vulture, and it would be bad, right? They would be pecked awfully and start bleeding out, and
Mm.
they would scream and run out of their house. And they're not gonna really gonna fight against the fucking huge bird that's killing you. They would run through the bedroom door, run into the hallway, like trip, and then kind of like half get up, half crawl to the front door, open it, and then walk back out into their hallway. And it would be
That's evil.
recursive over and over again until they crawl and just fucking collapse in the middle of the hallway, right? Because in my head, the idea is like suicide baiting, suicide baiting, suicide baiting, attempt, oh shit, I fucked up, I can't take it back now. And they're struggling and then end up dying, right? That's, the meta narrative or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would be revealed at the end that the reason the vulture acted so weird is that there were three of them the whole time because when you're feeling like this, you're mood swinging constantly. It feels like there's
Yeah.
different shit. So it'd be three vultures instead, and it would end with them being pecked to death because I'm a pretentious asshole. I've wanted to do this for fucking ages, but I can't get off my ass and actually do it. But one day, one fucking day,
One day it'll happen.
it will never happen. But one day, I'll think about it more instead, and that will be really cool or something. I don't know, but like I don't know what the fuck point I was saying with this was at all outside of just like no, I do know what the point I was trying to allude to was is like I think that works better is because there's it's all confined. It's all in one location. It's all really compact. It's not this expansive fucking lunatic world-ending plot. It's just
Yeah.
someone suffering. I get arguably torture porn, whatever. Oh, not whatever. Point being, they just tried too fucking much and didn't try hard enough. You didn't try hard enough. That's why your story sucks. No, they tried too much and they didn't end up doing enough to make it work. And they should have
Hmm.
just asked Netflix if they could do something else. I would like to see more from the Duffer Brothers. Maybe they more in line with season one, where they have better creative control and don't have Netflix execs being like, I'm guessing, of course, I don't know
Well,
how any of this shit works.
I heard, I did hear that there was a lawsuit
Oh,
because season one was kind of stolen.
oh yeah, from like real world events, no?
Allegedly, season one was basically stolen from the short film Montuac or something.
Montauk?
From I think yeah, Montauk. I think that was like
I
their
am
college roommate or something.
such a fucking SCP loser that I can that I can understand from your mispronunciation based on
Yeah,
an SCP. Montauk. Um, Chronicles?
it was a short film.
Yep, documentary
I
about.
don't know if it was SCP. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Um.
Yep, the docudrama that
Okay.
inspired Stranger Things. Montauk
Okay. Yeah.
Project.
Yeah. That one.
Oh wow.
I also saw that their next project got canceled by Netflix.
So
Probably not because of the backlash.
maybe I was wrong
It
then.
was it wasn't because of the backlash. I think it was just like it's been in production hell for a long time. So it's just a
Okay.
coincidence that it got canceled during the backlash.
Maybe I'll have to give Montauk Project a view. There's an incident at Montauk, and there's Montauk the film. There's a few different things in this series, it seems. Cool.
It's probably pretty good. Who
I'll have to
knows?
check
I
it
haven't
out at
seen
some
it.
point. Um, that's actually fucking hilarious that that happened.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I wanted to be positive, and then oh, actually, the thing you like stolen. Fuck.
Oh, actually, shut up and you're done.
I am dumb, but not as dumb as putting Vecna in the 80s. That fucking pissed me off. I won't lie, that's part of why I didn't finish season 4. Because I didn't like that they put Vecna in the 80s.
Yeah,
Because he
yeah,
was 2 lines on 2 magic items. I don't give a shit how good of a DM Eddie is, which by the way he isn't. He was fucking antagonistic to Erica for subbing in for
yeah.
Lucas. A good DM would not do that. Um, I don't give a shit how good of a DM he is. There is no fucking DM making an entire campaign around 2 goddamn lines for some obscure magic items.
Maybe he was
What
just
the
cooking that
fuck?
hard. Who
I
knows?
know he was. I know he was not. That shirt is a lame design. No one who okays
Maybe
a
the
design like
quadruple
that.
super senior.
He is not fucking. Mm. I don't like Eddie Munson as a character. I don't like Eddie Munson as a character, and I don't like Eddie Munson in the narrative. He took time away from other shit to do his
Yeah, I didn't
hunt
like
it
him.
down. That had no good ending because he just dies in the Upside Down. He could have
I
died
didn't like
earlier
Eddie
in the
Munson.
season. It would have been fine.
And speaking of Eddie Munson, my parents were rummaging through some stuff in the garage, and they found an old shirt that Derek gave to me for a birthday gift.
Wait, I
That was an
think
Eddie Munson shirt, and the tag and like the size sticker are still on it.
is it the
He
image where
wasn't
he
worn
has
once.
like the fingers over his head look like horns?
Yes, yes, it's that one.
Fucking, I remember when he gave you that too. That was,
It wasn't worn once. My parents were like, Connor, do you want this? I'm like, the fuck? No.
dude. I would have said yes in a heartbeat. That's awesome.
I think one of my brothers wanted it really badly or something.
That character sucks. Oh man, Eddie Munson fucking sucks. I don't like his character.
It's really stupid. I hate him.
He was completely useless and honestly dragged down the. He fucking ground the pace to a halt of season 4. His death scene sucked. What else did he
It
do
really did.
besides die and sell drugs to the first person that Vecna killed?
He technically saved Dustin, maybe?
But if you run the numbers and watch the scene, he would have made it out just fine.
Yeah,
Weren't the bats leaving and then he played his song and then they were like, oh, holy shit.
I think so.
That's stupid. Why did
I
he
mean, he
do that?
basically just killed himself.
Dude, just like 11. I choose to believe she died.
So do I.
I'm sure the Duffer Brothers are going to tweet out that that's not the case, but I choose to believe she died.
They have actually stuck to their guns on that one being ambiguous.
That's at least nice of them. But don't
Yeah.
forget, Vecna didn't expect an attack on him in the Abyss. Stupid name.
Oh my
Pissed
god.
me off that they called it the Abyss, because I'm playing White Knuckle, and I got to the section called the Abyss. It's one of the coolest sections of that game. Still haven't beaten it, because that segment's actually like really fucking hard. Shout out to the worm or the face, whatever I call it the worm. I think it's actually called the face. That thing's awesome. But hearing that it's called the Abyss made me upset because I'm like, fuck, White Knuckle Abyss update just came out. Now I have to think about that whenever I get to the Abyss.
At least it's not called Dimension X.
Is that actually what it was like?
I think it was called Dimension X at some point.
That's so fucking stupid.
Yep.
Don't worry, at least it's not the absolute worst. It's only mostly.
Yeah. It's only mostly bad. I do appreciate Hopper's reaction to every time the kids do some stupid D&D shit. Like when he's like when Dustin says the abyss, the other dimension, and then he's like, "What?" And they're like, "It's the D&D dimension of like chaos and blah blah." He's like, oh, "Jesus fucking Christ."
Is it called?
And then
Maybe it was called the Abyss. I don't think it's still called that.
I don't know.
Like, sure
And
as shit,
then
I'm
during
not running off of
Dustin's
the Hades.
graduation, he's talking about like he's like this little game called Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh
and
my.
Hopper's in the audience. He goes, "Holy fucking shit!"
He
And
does.
I did
Oh
find
my
that really
god.
funny.
He does the Nintendo YouTuber. This little known game called Super Freaking Mario Bros. He does that.
He does.
Oh man. Nathaniel Brandy, get your boy. Whatever
Probably
the
would
fuck
not
his name.
watch Nathaniel
That's
Brandy.
this little
Nathaniel
known
Brandy,
game called
whatever.
Super Freaking Mario Bros. Dude, please remind me if I ever tell you I'm gonna do a D&D video, please remind me to do that. Please remember to do that. This little known game called Dungeons and Freaking Dragons. Oh, that'd be so fucking good.
You should clear yourself for that. That's bad.
No, that'd be so good. If I ever do a D&D video, it actually won't be positive despite liking the game. D&D sucks, and I can recognize that. I'll die
That's
before I
fair.
swap to Pathfinder, though. I will play Kane at some point, no matter what it takes. Admittedly, because the name is cool. And yeah, it's Kane, like the first murderer.
That was pretty cool.
Side note, in Trench Crusade lore, the Death Commandos, which are like Hell's like premier assassins that pulled off a triple assassination on the fucking Vatican once, which is pretty cool in lore, are trained by like the worst murderers in Hell, right? And that makes sense. That's cool.
Hmm.
They name drop Kane though. He didn't. He just kind of hit his brother with a rock. He's not like prolific murderer. He just kind of did that.
Shit, I
What,
probably
like,
hit my brother with a rock.
what are they learning from Kane in Hell? He just kind of invented murder. He just wasn't. He wasn't good at it though.
Dude, okay. Look, if you were in hell and you met the guy who invented murder, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
No, because like it's said like they trained for years under the worst murderers, and I think they name drop Kane. What are they learning from him? He didn't do shit.
Have you ever bashed a man's skull in with a rock?
Dead Commandos are all about stealth. The stealthiest move I know. Grabs a fucking just fucking pulls your arm back like, yeah. Damn. I'm glad I learned under Kane and not like fucking I don't who's a prolific murderer around the times of 1912? Fucking I don't know, Alexander the Great or something. Or Napoleon Bonaparte, depending on your convictions.
When was Jack the Ripper a thing?
He was in the 1800s.
Okay, him.
He was the first serial killer. Well, I mean, he's not like the first serial killer. But he was like the first like
The
notorious sword
biggest like
killer.
prolific one, yeah.
I mean, what would he teach either? Cut them, really. Like, think about it more. It's
You
like, what the
kill
fuck do you
them.
learn from murderers that isn't just like cut them?
Bro, you kill them. It can't be that hard.
Surely they would learn from someone else.
You
Murder's
think?
like really easy.
Yeah, sure for
Murder's
me.
like really easy. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that. And I would have had
And
more to
let's
say on.
upload this to
I
YouTube.
know. I would have had more to say on the Demogorgons if honestly there was more about the Demogorgons aside from their stupid biology. I like they. It's like an episode of
They were
Buffy the
given
Vampire
sight in season
Slayer.
5 despite not having eyes.
They actually got that's stupid. Oh my! Oh,
Because
no, they
because
needed
Will
eyes
can
so
see
Will
through
could
them.
fucking yeah.
Yeah. They don't have eyes, but they can see somehow.
Trying to think like what did Dart have like even light sensitive organs, but I think doesn't even like I don't think it can see me or something like that. I don't know.
I think he was heat sensitive, but he wasn't light sensitive, I don't think.
He ate his cat.
That was pretty cool.
I didn't like that part. This will spawn a
That was my
1,000 year
favorite
blood
part.
war. I knew you would say
Yeah,
that's my favorite part. I, but
they
I
got a third
think the
person.
worst part
See
about
if they're indifferent.
Stranger Things is that they have, over time, gradually reduced Steve's iconic hair. I think it gets
I
shorter
agree.
every season. That's upsetting.
That's a crime that needs to be rectified.
He is Steve the Hair Harrington, dude. Like, this is his thing. That and styling on Demogorgons. I'm sure we could actually genuinely talk
At
for
this
like
point, he's
3
fucking
more
Steve the
hours,
Hare
but like,
Harrington, spelled Hare.
it's a
All the fucking
fucking
kids he
rabbit.
has.
Dude. Did he settle down with Nancy?
No, he's dating some random girl they named at the very end.
Okay,
Nancy
good.
is independent.
More like toxic, but let's go with independent. She, anyway. I have more points. I've just run out of steam. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
Alright, well, I hope this video was fun for someone. Steal my idea for that horror film. I don't give a shit. I'll do it at some point anyway, even if someone else does it. And write me fan fiction so that I can be upset that that didn't happen in the actual show.
God loves fan fiction.
I write it sometimes. I should write more of it. But you want any final? You want to say the final line of this video? Something like, this show sucks." Like the uh, irate gamer or whatever.
Next episode, we'll be doing a video on this little known game,
Oh, Dungeons and
Dungeons
Dragons.
and Dragons.
That probably won't
Dungeons
actually
and
be my
freaking
next video.
dragons.
That probably actually won't be my next video.
Oh, it needs to be. It needs to be.
Like I have to now. I have to get
I've
that's a video I script, dude. I have to make a script.
I've already written it into existence.
I'm gonna do this recent video instead because I hate this guy. Anyway, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
fucking 2 in the morning. Alright. Stop